Woodward Sports? Love wearing clothes? Then you should be wearing Woodward Sports clothes. Check out our full line of merch at woodwardsports.com. Just click on shop. We have all your favorite designs, like Dan Campbell kneecaps, Woodward golf, and of course, our own logoed out merchandise. Men, women, infants, kids all love Woodward Sports. Impress your friends. Impress your boss. Impress your dog. Buy Woodward Sports merch today.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Morning Woodward Show here on the Woodward Sports Network live. Woodwardsports.com. As always, Adham, Beydoun, Jeff, Iafrate, and welcoming back Gabrielle D. Phillips. We went with the full name this morning. I think you earned it after this weekend.
Thank you.
Worked your ass off over at Allen Park. So great job. You did a great job this weekend. It was fun to watch.
Thank you so much. It was fun to be there.
You enjoy?
Loved it. Loved every second.
It was a crazy draft.
That's for sure.
Missed,
not what I was expecting.
You missed a fun show yesterday.
But, I've been watching. I've been keeping up. And clearly we're in sync because we're matching today.
Oh,
I'm
absolutely.
Just realizing this.
She texted me at like 6:30, so green and white. I'm like, absolutely.
We actually look like a very decent ensemble here because you have the green and white.
And then there's
Jeff has the white, and then I have the green.
See, I got blue. So.
Yeah, all right.
Blue
Well,
pants.
So it's okay.
Yeah, it's all right.
You know, Jeff, I got to say.
Talk to me.
We're going to have a great show. I mean, we're going to start off, obviously, with there was a trade that happened. But not that happened. It happened a while ago, but it's complete now. And I think in life, in general, you should always reflect, learn from history a little bit, look back and say, okay, what did we do well? What didn't we do well? I think you can use that in all walks of life, right? And you can look at Kevin Durant last night and say, boy, what an outstanding basketball player. 87 points for the Suns, down 2-0 to the Nuggets. Steph Curry was so blessed to have Kevin Durant. And you know what? We got a great show planned. Jared Goff coming up at 8:15. He's nearing a contract extension. Can't wait to talk about that. The biggest post-draft questions for the Detroit Lions coming up at 8:30, and then we'll open up the phone lines, and then we'll take calls for at least a half hour throughout the show, where we're going to take your calls, your thoughts, your opinions on the draft. Give it to us. You can give us a grade. You can give us a player you like, you don't like, you love, you absolutely can't stand, whatever it may be. And then, of course, I want to talk about Jack Campbell, how he projects into the NFL, what his future looks like. Obviously, Butkus Award winner. Is he the next All-Pro Butkus Award winner to move into the NFL? So that'll be a conversation. Then, of course, the NBA playoffs, where James Harden had a hell of a game, and Kevin Durant looked like Kevin Durant when he's not with Steph Curry. But let's start the show off on the right foot.
I don't hate it. I don't hate Kevin Durant slander at all. I don't.
Yeah,
but as long as you can acknowledge,
when you discredit greatness,
listen.
That's what you get.
As long as you can acknowledge that man who struggled last night still took 2 Finals MVPs.
You're right. And it's okay that Magic gets to win with Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, who's a top 3, top 4 player of all time. But Steph Curry, God forbid, and Dwayne Wade LeBron James running like a bitch to Miami. Oh, who cares about that? Or Kevin Durant running like a bitch to Golden State. Oh, who cares about that? Right? It doesn't matter.
Yeah, it's fine when the super team comes to you. Right?
Doesn't matter.
It's fine.
It doesn't matter. Clearly,
right.
Clearly doesn't matter. Look, trade finalized. Matthew Stafford was the first big move Brad Holmes made. They traded Stafford for multiple draft picks, including 2 first-rounders, future seconds. Jamison Williams, obviously, Iffy, Josh Pascal, Jahmyr Gibbs, Sam Laporta, and Broderick Martin. Those are what the picks ended up being. And look, before this trade was ever completed, before you saw the picks, you and I always had a conversation about this is one of the most even trades of all time. It's up there with the Stephon Diggs for the first-round pick that ended up being Justin Jefferson, right? And now that you've processed who the players are, and maybe it isn't fair because you haven't seen 3 of them on the field yet, I still look at that trade and say, you know what? You gave up Matthew Stafford to accelerate a clear rebuild that you needed. Yeah, they won a Super Bowl. They felt like they won the trade. But I'm sorry, you're waking up on a Tuesday morning. I think a lot of Detroit fans are thinking, that was a really good trade now. That's two hauls of draft picks from Brad Holmes. You got to walk away happy. I think it's an even trade still. You can always say the Rams won the deal maybe more, obviously because they won a Super Bowl.
Of course.
But given what both teams were chasing, Rams were chasing a Super Bowl, the Lions were chasing an inevitable rebuild, and they wanted to accelerate it. They didn't want to wait 3, 4, 5 years. Winning season in year 2. Now you're going into year 3 as the division favorites. I think it's a deal that really worked out.
Yeah, no, it's shaped, I guess it sped up the process of this rebuild. I mean, you got Jared Goff in that trade as well, which don't discount him. I mean, he had a top 10 season last year. And you don't really have to worry about the quarterback position. And we're going to get to that later in the show as well. But overall, the trade with all the players together, I mean, Jameson Williams, say what you want. You can at least acknowledge he's uber talented. And then you got Jahmyr Gibbs, Sam Laporta, Josh Pascal, Broderick Martin, which... Broderick Martin, you also had to trade up for, so I'm curious to see what he turns into. But Ifitu Melifanu, which again he played a lot the last 2 years at times because of injuries. Deshaun Elliott was hurt last year. Actually, when he played, that's when they gave up 300 yards rushing to the Panthers. So I'm not trying to single him out, but the facts are the facts. This is an even trade. I guess if you look at it like if the Rams won a Super Bowl, clearly they won it, but this sped up the process. I mean, you're getting rid of Matthew Stafford. You knew what direction you were heading into, and now you started off with essentially, 7 players that all play. Like J-Mo, Jahmyr, Sam Laporta will play this year. Like all these guys are going to make an impact. And you had extra assets, which they used to trade up and get a guy like Jameson or get a guy like Broderick Martin. So again, I love the trade. We loved it when it happened because the 2 first-round picks we didn't know the Rams would stink this year, and you'd have the 6th overall pick. But it helps. And then you turn that into 12. You get Sam Laporta. So Brad Holmes, not only did this trade make a ton of sense, Brad made it even better by multiplying those assets, and essentially you have 7 guys that are going to contribute to the NFC North favorite this year. So it was definitely worth it.
Yeah, I find it hilarious because if you just look at one team or the other, I don't think it gives you the full picture, guys. I'm going to say this again. The Rams were chasing a Super Bowl.
And they got it.
That was their goal.
Yeah.
Mission accomplished. They could lose 14 games for the next 5 years, and they could give a shit less. They had a goal of winning the Super Bowl with the core that they had, and they did it. Trade one, they walk away very happy. The Lions were going into a rebuild. They knew year 1 was going to be a struggle. Let's stockpile draft picks. Cool. They do so. And those draft picks result in you having 2 first-round picks in the 22 NFL draft and then in the 23 NFL draft. And now you've accelerated a lot of talent, a lot of excellent players, players that you have high hopes for, players even on this list that you're frustrated with, and you're like, okay, well, I haven't seen J-Mo yet fully on the field, especially contributing at a high level. Josh Pascal, injury history, got to see something there. Iffy, I have no hope for. And then there's 3 rookies on this list. But the best part about this list, to be honest with you, outside of the draft picks, is Jared Goff.
There you go, yeah.
4,100 yards, 29 touchdowns, 7 interceptions, a hell of a season last year. And you're going into this season with the expectation that this is the guy that's going to deliver your first division title and hopefully your first playoff win in 30-plus years.
And you know what could have drastically changed? Like, for example, Brent Holmes, his ability to identify talent in the draft. I know this year people are skeptical, but in general, look at everything. Imagine if you didn't have Brad Holmes. The reason why these draft picks they turned out you're more excited about what you got in this trade is because of who he took. I mean, even this year and last year, Jameson, Jahmyr, Sam Laporta, like Josh Pascal last year in the second round, who was hurt, but he showed flashes. Like Iffy, to your point, I mean, if anything, he's just a depth piece in the secondary, so there's not much there. But still, I mean, these are 3 or 4 guys that are pretty solid. And for Brad Holmes' sake, I mean, he could have easily botched this. Former Lions GMs probably would have botched this, but Brad Holmes so far...
Well, you don't know yet, right? Because the only proven commodity on that list of players, J-Mo, Iffy, Pascal, Gibbs, Laporta, Martin, and Goff, it's only Jared Goff. Jameson Williams has not proven anything in the NFL. Neither has Iffy, neither has Pascal, and then Gibbs, Laporta, and Broderick Martin are all rookies. So... easy to say that now because you haven't seen them play, But fast forward 12 months, let's say worst case scenario, all these guys continue to struggle with injuries or just aren't any good, then that trade probably leans more towards the Rams than it does the Lions.
Well, true, and that's
right?
why if these guys turn into, they
and
have
if they end up
10-year
being good
careers,
players or very good players,
absolutely,
that trade evens out
and
easily.
I guess what I meant is off of collegiate tape.
Oh,
Brad
yeah,
got
yeah.
it right. Now
No, I
the
get what
coaching
you're
staff
saying.
has to, groom these guys and help them learn and progress them. But still, as of right now, I like what he did with it. I mean, he got, again, Jared Goff. We would agree there. I mean, he's probably the best asset. You got stability at quarterback, which a lot of teams need right now. Like,
Yep.
I don't think people understand how important that is. Tennessee is scrambling at the bits to get Will Levis. like teams need quarterbacks.
I mean, do you guys
And
not
got
remember
Jared Goff.
Charlie Batch, John Kitna, Dante Culpepper, Jeff Garcia?
Yeah.
Why'd I say Dante Culpepper?
Yeah, you threw him in with Jeff Garcia.
Yeah, I lost my mind for a
okay.
second. But do you guys not remember these days?
Those are-
And then you had Matthew Stafford for over a decade, and it transitioned immediately into Jared Goff. Like, you have been one of the more fortunate franchises in the last 15 years. I think that's a fact. You could be the Cleveland Browns that have had nobody in 15 years. Hell, they haven't had one in 30.
and they missed on 2 in the last decade.
So, let's call a spade here. Jared Goff is not a top 5 quarterback in the NFL. He's not your traditional franchise quarterback, the guy that you put your arm around and he'll take you everywhere you need to go. No. But let's not forget how easy it is to go from Jared Goff to Zach Wilson,
Oh, yeah.
or Jared Goff to Charlie Batch. Just keep that in mind. Again, we talk about this contract extension coming up next, what it means for the team. I still think he has to earn it. I don't think it's a given. I don't think the Hendon Hooker draft pick puts any pressure on him at all.
Yeah.
I think, to me, the pressure is on the field this year. Either they go out and deliver or they don't, and that'll dictate his future. But we'll talk about that next. But before we do, our good friends over at the Sports Marketing Agency.
The Sports Marketing Agency helps spread awareness about mental health and substance abuse. Their new podcast, This is the S Word, helps fight the stigma about seeking help. If you or someone you know is struggling, head to thesportsma.com for more information.
Love Woodward Sports? Love wearing clothes? Then you should be wearing Woodward Sports clothes. Check out our full line of merch at woodwardsports.com. Just click on shop. We have all your favorite designs, like Dan Campbell kneecaps, Woodward golf, and of course, our own logoed out merchandise. Men, women, infants, kids all love Woodward Sports. Impress your friends. Impress your boss. Impress your dog. Buy Woodward Sports merch today.
Introducing the Planet Fitness Guide to getting that post-workout glow. Step 1. What's your why? More epic energy? Better sleep? Blow off steam? Step 2. Join Planet Fitness for just $10 a month and get moving in our clean and spacious clubs. Step 3. Bask in that post-workout glow. Join Planet Fitness today for just $10 a month.
Join today at any of the 50-plus Detroit area locations.
Woodward Avenue, the first paved road in America. Woodward Sports, the first sports network born in Detroit and made for Detroit.
Let me tell you about our friends at the Fulling Warehouse in Hamtramck, because it is the home of the original football bowling game. 2 to play for $12, the unlimited open play, or you can pay $120 for a lane reservation for up to 10 people. $2 mystery beer machine, full bar. Check it all out, fullingwarehouse.com.
All right, we're back here on the Morning Woodward Show live, woodwardsports.com as always. Look, guys, if you're missing the show live, you can always download the podcast after the fact, wherever you find it, Apple Podcasts, Spotify. I don't know what the hell you guys listen to. All I know is you should leave a 5-star review because me and Gabby are matching today, all right? And if you don't like it, suck it, right?
You said it.
All right, good. I figured you wouldn't back me up on that one.
Did not back you up, just stated the facts.
Yep.
You said it.
Fair enough. All right, Jared Goff is nearing a contract extension in the next 15 months, according to Dave Burkett. Okay. So, I kind of laughed when I first saw the headline.
I did too.
In the next 15 months.
Yeah.
That one really got me. But as someone that likes Jared Goff in this offense right now, I'm not naive enough to think that if he goes out and plays more so like year one, or even like games 1 through 5 where he just wouldn't stop throwing interceptions, if he goes out and has a 14, 15 interception season and he costs his team 2-3 games, and that's the difference between winning the division and just being a wild card team, I think the Lions are really going to do their homework and think, okay, that can't happen. How do we move on from this, right?
Right.
But if Jared Goff goes out and has 90% of the season he had this year in totality, I think the Lions are going to walk away and say, let's give him a 2-3 year extension. Hendon Hooker can stay. We got him on a 4-year deal. God forbid any injury happens, he's going to be waiting. And if Hendon Hooker ends up playing a game or two and shows flashes, but we don't believe in him, we can flip him for a second-round pick. That, to me, is this whole situation. I think it's all pending on how they perform this year. I don't think he gets the contract extension unless he goes out and delivers and this team wins.
Yeah.
If they go out and win 7-8 games and he plays average, a lot of people losing their jobs.
Let me hit you with a scenario, because what if he struggles but they win a playoff game? Let's say he throws 15 picks, but towards the playoffs plays good enough, he wins a playoff game.
Playoffs.
So
they don't win the division?
I'll give you the division. How about that? They win the division, they win a playoff game, but Jared Goff...
With him throwing 15 picks, what a defense.
Playoffs.
Depends how Hendon Hooker's progressed.
Okay.
Yeah, if he's progressed enough and you're confident. Again, I told you yesterday, if Hendon Hooker ends up being Jared Goff, that's an A-plus draft pick.
Oh, yeah.
The idea of having that good of a quarterback in the 3rd round, let alone, God forbid, not God forbid, but, who knows? Imagine he's actually a franchise guy and you look at him like a Russell Wilson or a Patrick Mahomes or anything. We'll use Russell Wilson as an example because he was a 3rd-round pick. But
Dak was 4th,
if you get that, holy hell, yeah, I would not want a Dak Prescott on this team. Thank you
maybe,
very much.
okay, not exactly Dak Prescott. You get my point.
But do you see the point?
Yeah.
So let's say, they win the division, they get a playoff win, but he threw 15 interceptions.
Yeah, you win with Jared. Like, he's just...
I think that's all variant on Hendon Hooker and whether or not they really believe he can step in right away and take over, because he would have been sitting for a year, and by then I think they would know whether or not. So that would be my answer.
And I think even if Goff struggles a little bit, even if they don't want to extend him, you could still get something for Jared Goff. You could still trade him and get assets. So again, but that's if he struggles this year. Again, if he plays well, I can see a scenario where the Lions give him a 2-year extension. I don't really mind that, to be honest with you. It just depends on the number. If you give him a 2-year, $80 million, if you give him 40, I won't hate it, especially if it's short-term deal. Because
I think it's all
if Hendon
dependent
shows
on
something,
performance, man.
Of course, and that's why I love the headline in the next 15 months. I'm like, yeah, that sounds about right, because that'll give us the season to see how Jared's playing. I think it'd be the biggest mistake the Lions will make if they extend Goff before this season. Like, it'd be idiotic. You at least let him play, because again, he had a good season last year, 29 touchdowns, 7 interceptions. He was top 10 in multiple categories. But still, like, guys have good seasons. Ryan Tannehill a couple seasons ago had a really good season, and now they're drafting Will Levis in the 2nd round. So these things, you got to just let them play out. So again, if Dave Burkett, if this is something he's been hearing in the next 15 months, sounds about right.
Okay, let's
cool
play
with
the
15
scenario
months.
that Goff does really well, okay? Guys,
Okay.
here's a little life lesson for all of you. You're in the right situation. You're with the right people. You're having success. You're performing at a level that you not only aspire to perform at, but, makes you feel good. We all want to perform well at our jobs. And Jared's performing at that level because, my goodness, an offensive line, the weapons he'll have, the offensive coordinator. When you're in that position, and Kevin Durant knows this more than anybody, when you're in the position of luxury and having a great supporting system around you, leaving that for anything else is very hard to do. Ask Kevin. He left and it's backfired completely. So for me, I think the Lions have a lot of leverage here, barring they actually have success this year, which I think they will. But they go out and win a division, host a playoff game. Dare I say win a playoff game. Yeah, Jared Goff is going to look like a hot commodity, but the Lions are going to have a real talk with him and say, hey, look, We love you. You love us. This is a mutually beneficial relationship right now. We can't afford this number that your market says you're at. We're more comfortable here. This will allow us to keep the sexy offensive line and the few weapons we have on offense. This will allow us to re-sign players on defense, bolster up our defensive line, and we can keep going for NFC title games and hopefully maybe even a Super Bowl one day. That's what an extension looks like to me. I don't see them shelling out more money, let's say anywhere near 45 or 50 million. That would be irresponsible. It just would.
I love this comment too. Brandon Ketz says the Lions have no leverage with Goff. They didn't draft a quarterback who can play. Hooker was a dual threat in college. He's not big enough to run in the NFL. Zero chance Goff will take a 2-year extension. So Goff's agent Brandon Katz has spoken. Zero chance he will take a 2-year extension.
I think he lost me. I think he lost me at Hendon Hooker was a dual threat quarterback.
Yeah, and he's not big enough to run in the NFL. I mean, my man, he's 6'4", 200 pounds. But okay. That's fine. I wouldn't say there's a zero chance that he doesn't take a 2-year extension. If he wants a 4-year deal, there's the door, bud. Like, I'm not giving you a 4-year deal. So whether he takes it or not, that's not the Lions' issue.
So how do you think Jared Goff and his team have reacted to Hendon Hooker being added to the team?
I think they love it. I think they love it because that's a sign of, hey, they're not moving off me. If the Lions take a quarterback in the first round and they move up from 6 to 3 to get one, or they stay at 6 and get one,
definitely.
Writing's on the wall. Hey guys, let's put the house up for sale and let's go house hunting, right? Mm-hmm. A third-round quarterback is no threat to Jared Goff unless Hendon Hooker ends up totally impressing and wowing everybody in Allen Park in practice to the point where they're like, how do we not play him? Mm-hmm. Which is really a small percent chance that even happens. So I think Jared Goff and his team are very happy. I think they're confident and they're comfortable. And to be honest, I bet they knew before anybody that the Lions were considering taking Hendon Hooker.
Yeah, they've talked about it openly. I mean, they even said, we want to upgrade the quarterback room. We want to upgrade the quarterback room. They tried to do it last year. This year, Hendon Hooker's in your hands in the 3rd round. Like, it was awesome. So give Brad credit for that. Even if he doesn't play, he's a backup. We talk about it with the Patriots. You can still get something for Hendon if it doesn't work out. If Goff plays extremely well, you extend him, he's your quarterback, that's fine. You still have Hendon Hooker, who's widely regarded as one of the best quarterbacks coming out. A team's going to be interested, especially as teams go on and like you look at teams that need quarterbacks.
Look at Jalen Hurts.
There's still
Jalen Hurts not deserving of his money?
Absolutely.
Right? You would give the contract no problem, right? You wouldn't consider it even once. You wouldn't have a double take at all, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Funny thing about his contract, the first 3-4 years of it, they're paying him nothing. And they owe him roughly over 100-something million, God knows the number, in year 4 or 5. Why? He wants to win. He wants to win now. The money will come with success. For Jared Goff, and this would be my thought on it, the Lions bring me an extension of 3 years, $120 million. Okay? I can go get an offer from Washington, Cleveland, whoever the hell it's going to be in the future, let's just say, for argument's sake. They're going to offer me a 4-year, $170, $180 million deal. Okay, I could get one more deal, one more year on that deal, for example. That's a lot of money. It's more money annually than what the Lions are giving me. But the Lions are giving me, like I mentioned, the offensive line, the run game, the weapons, the continuity, the trust. I'm confident here. I'm comfortable here. I'm winning here. I find it hard for Jared Goff to just leave only for money when he's already been one of the highest paid quarterbacks in the NFL prior. I don't think money's an issue for Goff at this point. I think him finding the best situation for him is the most important thing. And if they go out and win this year, Jeff, I can't find a better situation than Detroit.
Especially the way they want to play football. They want to run the football. Jared Goff, we know he's one of the best quarterbacks right now in the NFL in play action statistically. And again, I mean, Dan Orlovsky made this point on TV. I think it was yesterday or it was to recap the Lions draft. And what he said was, and it makes a lot of sense, the AFC and the NFC are two different conferences in the way they want to play football. The AFC is, outscoring each other, and the NFC is running the football, smash mouth football. And the Lions draft kind of tells you a lot about what they want to do. Jahmyr Gibbs, Jack Campbell. I mean, you get a running back, a hybrid, and Jack, who's
Has someone ever
great
broken
against
up
the
with
run.
you?
What?
Has someone ever broken up with you?
Yes.
I'm asking.
Yes.
Okay. Gabby, have you ever been heartbroken?
Yes.
Has somebody ever left you?
Yep.
All right, cool. JB?
Yeah. Oh, definitely.
All right. See, everybody in this room
Definitely.
is experienced with some
JB.
heartbreak, right?
Hey, I had some trauma.
Somebody's left you at
Okay.
some point.
Okay.
Okay. Look at Jared Goff. Let's call the Rams his past wife for argument's sake here, okay? His wife leaves him, dumps him, trades away all of her assets to get rid of him for a guy that you think is just a 7, but year 1 is a 10 and they win the Super Bowl. And for that year, he's sitting there. He's been broken up with. He's playing on a shit football team. It doesn't look great. The head coach goes for on every 4th down, and there's no continuity going on, and he's watching his former partner win a Super Bowl. That's devastating.
Yeah.
Fast forward a year, 9-8, 8-2 down the stretch. He played some of the better football we've seen Jared Goff play since his MVP type season that he had with LA on their way to the Super Bowl. I don't think Jared Goff's ever felt better. I think he's now just recovering from that breakup. And I find it hard to leave somebody who helped me get through my traumatic breakup, who I've had success with, who I have a good rapport with, over the next shiny object. I just don't see it working out that way. Hopefully that was a good example. Maybe I lost everybody.
No, that was spot on. I think Jared
yeah.
Goff seeing his ex with a new man, thriving, and then now he's in Detroit, and now they're on their way to thriving. So it just took, Jared Goff a little longer for to see the fruits of his labor. But still, it's. I think Jared Goff, in all seriousness, despite the contract extension, despite how I feel about how much I want to pay Goff, I think he's poised for another great season. I think he's poised for another top 10 season. The only excuse you can make for Goff is dependent on injuries, especially at wide receiver early on, because if Amon-Ra gets hurt, God forbid, early on, no Jameson, no Amon-Ra, that's tough. But besides that, if all goes well, Jared, he's there's no excuse why he can't have another top 10 season. Everything's set up for him to succeed.
Fair enough. All right, let's take a break. When we get back, the biggest post-draft questions that Jeff and I have for the Detroit Lions after everything is unfolded. We'll get to that next, and we'll start taking callers at about 8:44, 8:45. But before we do, I got to tell you about my good friends over at Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. Walk into any Lady Jane's and automatically enter for your chance to win not one but 2 cars of your choice from our good friends over at Chevrolet Buick GMC of Ferndale. Guys, easy as hell. Whether you want to get it for your wife, your kid, your mistress, I don't care. Get into a Lady Jane's, you automatically qualify. You'll thank me later. Lady Jane's, it's wicked awesome.
The sports marketing agency would not be who we are without great community partners like Higuera Health and Carol Zaniga.
It's an awesome opportunity to partner with your organization. Higuera Health is a comprehensive behavioral health organization. We serve children through older adults with mental health, substance use, and developmental disabilities across Western Wayne counties, and really excited to now be in downriver communities as well. Give us a call at 734-458-4601.
We don't like to brag that we are the toughest sports network in Detroit, but we do have a guy named Darren McCarty on our side.
Lemieux and McCarty, who've had a good knockdown drag up. There they go, right on the whistle. They were talking to one another.
Woodward Sports.
Welcome back to the Morning Woodward Show. We're so happy to have you here. If you're watching at woodwardsports.com, please be sure to check out all of our articles. If you're watching on YouTube, subscribe and like. And if you're listening after the fact, don't forget to download this episode and leave a 5-star review. And we're back. And I had a wonderful discovery during the break.
Yeah, I'm lost here.
I made a comment and I said, did you guys see that Patrick Mahomes was at the Met Gala? And Adam's response was...
What is the Met Gala?
It's just like adding this to the list of...
What is it?
JV,
do you know?
Yes,
I do.
uncultured swine.
Alex? Okay, what is it? Like a charity thing? What?
So it's at the Met in New York.
What's the Met?
You really got to break it all down for him.
You really do.
Okay, it is a event celebrating fashion and charity and history and art in New York. It's very big. It started off
Who was
as
invited?
typical. Okay, so originally it started off and it was like very like high society, behind closed doors kind of people.
Okay.
Then things have shifted
People that
throughout the
sacrifice
years.
kids and stuff.
Things have shifted throughout the years and it became very Hollywood centric. And in the last couple of years, the guest lists have expanded to influencers and other personalities.
Let me guess, Brittany Griner was there.
Okay, all right.
This year it included
I bet you any
Mahomes
money she
and
was there.
his
No,
wife.
she was not.
This year it included Mahomes and his wife, and I just thought that was very...
Why?
What do they have to do with fashion?
I don't know.
And this is where I'm like, this over, like, I think, like, in terms of athletes that you think would have a bleed over into fashion, I would not put Patrick
I think
Mahomes
Russell
and his
Westbrook should have
wife
been there.
in
Have
that
you seen
category.
his fashion?
Well, I feel like he's been there before. Yeah, he's too fashionable not to.
I don't
go.
know. I just we waste money on so much dumb shit in this country.
Did you
It's
see James
unbelievable.
Harden's outfit last night? Did you see
I
it?
did,
What
and
he
I
was
watched
wearing?
him cook, but I didn't see
Okay,
his
I'm
outfit,
gonna
no.
get it to Alex when we talk later on NBA playoffs a little bit. I want you to see it because
seen
speaking
it.
of the
I've
Met
seen
Gala,
it.
these are the type of outfits you'll see. And later
Yeah,
on, I'll show
Russell
you.
Westbrook was at the
Oh,
Met
is
Gala
this where
last
people
night.
wear like freaking tigers on their head, and they call it fashion?
Yes.
Well-
even though they look like a bunch of fucking idiots.
Kyle Kuzma wore.
Yes.
It looked like an air mattress. It was like this blow up thing he put on, and it was fashion. I was like, so yeah. I mean, anything is considered fashion nowadays.
I got nothing. I got nothing. All I know is there's some weird shit going on. Brittany Griner was there. See, I told you.
No,
I told you.
Not.
What do you know? Easy as fuck. I don't even know what's going on in the country, and I know she would be there. Or he. I'm not
Shut
sure.
up, you're right.
Was I right?
You were so right.
Absolutely. I know I was right.
Wait,
of course.
wait, she
Why
actually-
wouldn't she be there?
She actually was there.
I don't know what she identifies as, so I'm probably pissing off half the country right now, but oh fucking well. I knew it.
I mean, you made like a half-assed, like, snide comment, and you were fully
I know. Why would she is the definition of what that gal is probably about. Anyways, moving on. Here's the conversation I want to shift to before I get canceled again. All right. What are your biggest concerns, questions that you have for the Detroit Lions post-draft? All right, we've talked about each individual player, where they were selected, the shock value of Thursday night heading into Friday and then Friday night. So many things went on. What are the biggest questions you have about this football team? Now that the board is settled, the players are what they are, Jeff, what are you looking to get answered?
How they handle expectations. That's a big one because they've never had it. I mean, last year the expectation was just be mid, and they actually overachieved. They won 9 games. Like this year, with all the talk in the offseason, all the publicity they've been getting nationally, now getting all these players, 8 players through the draft, which a lot of them will play and contribute. My biggest question mark, and then they've made some moves in free agency, which will help them. They brought in veterans, Cam Sutton, Emmanuel Mosley, C.J. Gardner-Johnson, which will help from premier organizations. They all came from organizations that are in the playoffs, but still, my biggest question mark, it has nothing to do with any players. It's the entire team as a whole and Dan Campbell.
Really?
How do they handle these type of expectations? Because winning your division, being favored in the division, having, 8% of the money on the Lions to win the Super Bowl? Like, this is something that we have not seen in a long time. So a lot of pressure, not just on players, but on the coaching staff as well. That's probably my biggest question. Now, if we're getting to the draft, this is kind of just something I've been thinking about more often than not, specifically with Jahmyr Gibbs. His size does scare me. So the biggest thing I'm looking at with Jahmyr is how often he's utilized, because if he's going to be a hybrid, if he's going to play that role, I mean, even if you bring up Debo, Alvin Kamara, Christian McCaffrey, they're all taller and bigger. So I'm curious how Jahmyr holds up. That's probably my biggest, if we're talking specifically who they drafted, just seeing Jahmyr Gibbs, I want to see him perform and last in the NFL. But other than that, yeah, it has to be the expectations.
Yeah, I didn't expect you to go the expectations route.
Yeah.
I didn't. I want to see. The biggest question I have is, how do they utilize Gibbs and Laporta day one? Because you expect them to be used day one. They're going to have all of camp, OTAs, yada, 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 preseason. How does this offense flow? Because let's all acknowledge something. This is now one full year of tape that the NFL has on the Lions offense, what they like to do. And I think maybe that's part of the strategy they had was, hey, you know what, last year we got away with the Jamal Williams and, Craig Reynolds in the backfield and Brock Wright at tight end. We're not going to be able to achieve our goals being that little talented in those specific positions, right? So we need upgrades. Laporta's a massive upgrade. Gibbs, huge upgrade alongside David Montgomery. So my question is going to be, how do you utilize these rookies day one? And then also, how do you roll out the secondary? Tracy Walker is expected to be fully fit come week one of the NFL season. So you are going to have an abundance of options in the secondary. Aaron Glenn, to me, that is the question I have. How are you going to use these players? How are you going to rotate them? What does your defensive front look like? How often is Aiden Hutchinson going to be pushed to the inside? We'll see. John Kaminsky, the health of some of those players anyways, I already have questions on. We'll see. I think the biggest question after that, outside of how they use them, you no longer have draft capital. It's done. The 2 years of having 2 first-round picks, it's over. Now you become like every other team. Now you're not like Seattle. Now you're not like Detroit has been for 2 years where you basically control the draft board. You no longer have that control. How do you approach the draft in the future? How do you trade at the deadline? Are you a buyer, a seller?
Right.
So many questions about this team and what they're going to look like moving forward, but those are just some of the questions I have. And if you want me to answer yours, I'm not concerned about Jahmyr Gibbs. How would I be? I don't think I have the right to be. They drafted him 12th overall. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear about his size. I don't want to hear anything. You put him in the slot. You run him out of the backfield. You put him on a screen, a bubble screen. I don't care what it is. That's a 12th overall pick. I'm expecting production.
Yeah.
I don't want to hear about injuries, because the moment I hear about injuries, and that is the entire argument alongside the shelf life that running backs have, alongside of their production not being even remotely higher than the league average over the last 20-year span, I don't want to hear that. I am not in the mood for Jahmyr Gibbs might be none of that.
No, and again, I'm not trying to deny the skill or anything like that. Because again, I'm not going to question his talent. You watched him. I mean, him and Sam Laporta, their ability to miss tackles, they do it at a high level, a high rate. So again, Jahmyr's talent, I'm not questioning. I'm more questioning how they're going to utilize him. I mean, we know he's going to play this hybrid role, but I want to see how often he's lined up either in the slot or out wide compared to in the backfield. I mean, especially when you have David Montgomery. So that's probably more specifically what I'm trying to say is how he's utilized. And along with, I mean, let's be honest here, DeAndre Swift, similar height and size, and he was often banged up. Not saying Jahmyr will be, but I'm curious if he's playing that role and he's getting a lot of touches.
It's not about Jahmyr Gibbs. He will be banged up.
No, it is
the nature of that position.
I guess
you're
how
gonna
often
have to
would
play
be the question.
hurt. DeAndre Swift wasn't so willing to play hurt.
Yeah.
Last year in Philly, contract year, I actually expect him to play through a ton of pain to try and earn that second contract in the NFL. Oh, man.
And again, even for Gibbs now, and he mentioned this too after getting drafted, meeting with Ben, they do want to use him a lot more than he did than they did at Alabama at wide receiver. They do want to give him more opportunities there. So his role will change now coming to the NFL. And I'm just curious, too, with the carry balance between him and David Montgomery.
I want to deviate for 1 second. Hey, Adam. Just got to answer the chat because I'm a good man. Hey, Adam. That wasn't cool with the Brittany Griner talk. Shaking my head, man. Well, man, you know what's not cool? Somebody campaigning for women equality for years and years and years, saying that men are taken away from the game, there's a pay gap, etc., and now advocating that men should be able to play in women's leagues. Yeah, make that make sense for me, buddy. Make that make sense for me. Please, enlighten me. Maybe I'm the fucking idiot here. Anyways. Gabby, I have a question for you, actually. So you've been in Allen Park all weekend.
Yeah.
All the players very excited to be here. The question I have is what is the gut feeling inside of Allen Park behind closed doors? How are they feeling about the haul of players they went out and got over the past weekend?
Very excited.
Yeah.
Very confident. Almost like Holmes had fully planned for all of this to happen, and that it happened the way he wanted it to. It's been kind of the narrative in the media lately that the Lions went out and got the players that they wanted. And I think I look at our conversations that we had going into the draft, and there was a lot of talent versus position. The one thing I don't think we really factored into that conversation was Brad Holmes' want. Because if he saw this specific person and the traits and the balance of the traits that they had that he wanted, he went and got them. It didn't matter where they went to school, if they participated in the combine, where he found them, how much tape they had, if they had an ESPN profile already built for them. He went and got the players that he wanted regardless of the picks that he had. He didn't let that influence him, which I think goes back to the conversation that you had about the top 10 versus
everything else,
12 through 20.
Yeah.
He did exactly what you were talking about in his own way.
Just not to the extreme route of taking a Jelani Tavai that really doesn't have a draft profile. That
he did you're right. He did.
Yes, but Broderick Martin didn't have a draft profile. So
that's fine. But that was a, fourth round, fifth round pick?
I believe third round.
They traded into day two?
Either way, third or fourth round. Doesn't matter. But still, like to Gabby's point, he goes and gets players that
but I can live with guys trading into the third, fourth round. To your point, Gabby, we talked about the top 10 picks in the last 10 years of NFL drafts, and you're like, how were some of these guys top 10 picks? And you had Deebo Samuel in the second round, and this guy in the second round, and Fred Warner in the third round.
Right.
And then you're like, oh, well, redrafting them, hindsight, of course you take them. Well, guys don't always test out as first-round grades. That's why you got to look at the football player. And, after the shock Thursday and really having the weekend to digest everything, you're going to look back and you're going to say they either reached or they did exactly what we discussed they would do, which is don't worry about how they test out. Go get the really good football players. And that translates. I
think that is exactly what they did.
And you see a similar theme. Leaders got productive, obviously. I mean, Jahmyr Gibbs led his team in a lot of different categories offensively. And then you had Jack Campbell, leader on that Iowa defense, their biggest playmaker, Sam Laporta, essentially the captain of the offense, led that team in receiving yards. Like you see like a common theme with these players. They fit a certain mold. And so far, 2 for 2 with Brad Holmes. So I'm willing to give him the benefit of the doubt.
All right, fair enough. Let's take a break. When we get back, the phone lines are open, 313-552-6322. Jeff, if you don't mind, pin it.
I got you.
At the top of the Woodward Sports chat. But before we go, Gabby, our good friends over at Cintron.
Cintron is the official energy drink of the Detroit Red Wings, and right now they have an exclusive offer for Woodward Sports listeners. You can try their Variety 6-pack just for $15 plus free shipping if you go to drinkcintronworld.com/Woodward. That's drinkcintron.com/Woodward. They have classic sugar-free cranberry. Try it today. drinkcintron.com/Woodward.
Introducing the Planet Fitness Guide to getting that post-workout glow. Step 1. What's your why? More epic energy? Better sleep? Blow off steam? Step 2. Join Planet Fitness for just $10 a month and get moving in our clean and spacious clubs. Step 3. Bask in that post-workout glow. Join Planet Fitness today for just $10 a month.
Join today at any of the 50-plus Detroit area locations.
Get a shot up. This is for the win. All of Detroit's sports teams live on Woodward. All of Detroit's sports coverage lives on Woodward Sports. Driving the best in Detroit sports coverage.
Let me tell you about our friends over at Alta. At Alta, uptime matters. Alta Equipment has everything you need to get the job done. If you have a big project coming up, Alta Rent has you covered. Call them today, 844-GO-TO-ALTA. That's 844-GO-TO-ALTA today.
All right, we're back here on the Morning Woodward Show live, woodwardsports.com. We got a ton of calls coming in right now. Before we get to them, I want to kind of serve all of you all. Serve you all up. Okay? By the way, allergy medicine not helping at all. It's been a week, zero help. Nothing.
What are you still feeling?
Shit.
But like
can't breathe.
Congestion.
Can't breathe. Struggle to swallow.
Oh.
Yes, I know. Disappointing. I know how upset you are, Jeff, by that.
Hey, yo! No, that's unfortunate.
It's just not working. It's not working.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Do you have any like air purifiers in your house?
Yeah, I have the stupid little thing that you plug in the wall. I have them, like 3 of them upstairs. What is that? That little bowl thing that you fill with water and then you plug in the shit? I don't know.
It cleans your air.
Not a humidifier.
Is it a humidifier? I don't know what I'm talking about here.
Humidifier. You need an air purifier.
What the hell's an air purifier? What's the difference?
It cleans the air.
It's
a
literally.
humidifier adds like.
I think my
humidity to
air
the
is clean in the house. I mean, what?
I don't know. I just giving you other ideas to try here.
This man goes, "What is an air purifier?" It's
Exactly
literally
what
air
it says.
purifier. It purifies the air.
What is a humidifier? An air humidifier.
All right, leave me alone, guys. I'm having a rough day. All right.
Come on, bro. What are we doing?
Met
What are we
Gala, air purifiers. That's gonna be the end of me. All right. You guys are more than welcome to call in. 313-552-6322 is the number. And what I want to hear from all of you this morning is, yes, of course, what you think of the draft picks. That's kind of the standard at this point. But, what shocked you? What threw you off guard? Where are you at with Brad Holmes? I don't think any of you should have changed your mind. I still think he's an excellent GM, but if you want to call in and say you've lost faith, be my guest, I'll disagree with you, but that's what I want to hear. Talk me through the draft picks, what you liked, what you loved, what you didn't like. Walk me through it. JB, who do we got on the line?
All right, I will send you Bo first.
All right. Bo, you're on the network. Thank you for calling in. What do you got for us, buddy?
How's it going, guys?
It's going.
How's it going?
Well, first of all, allergy medicine's not going to do anything for you if you're all stuffed up. You need something like Mucinex with glyphenecin in it. That'll help you out.
All right. I know what Mucinex is. I don't know what glyphenecin is or whatever the hell you just said.
It's the main chemical. It's the decongestant. Anyway, a thought I had Thursday night. I went to the draft party at Ford Field. I wanted to see the new turf mostly. But would you guys say that it's the consensus in the league that you draft a running back and you run him until the wheels fall off? Because you can't expect to get more than 4 years out of the guy.
Well, I guess it depends.
Would you guys say that?
I guess it depends too on what role you're going to have him play. Like for example, Beydoun Robinson, like a player like that, where you're going to put probably 20, 25 carries on him a game. I think you have a point, but it depends on how they use him. I guess because Jameer might not be getting that type of workload. I don't think he will. So I guess it depends. But yes, you're mostly correct.
Yeah, for me.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean.
Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
Go ahead, Adam. Well, that's mostly how backs are used. And I mean, a lot of times, even if they're in a limited capacity, I mean, the wheels fall off these guys relatively quickly. They're getting hit all the time. So, I mean, even in Swift's case, I don't remember him being injury prone coming out of school, but I didn't follow him a lot then. But we tried to use him as a bell cow back, but it didn't work out. And then even in a limited capacity, he couldn't be bothered to be out there every snap. But the way I see it, and I was shocked at first. I mean, I was shocked like everybody else was that we went back at 12. I mean, somebody who was never mocked to us. But, I mean, if that's the plan with a running back to run him for 4 years until the wheels fall off and then move on to the next guy, why not take the guy that you know that you want as early as you can get him?
Yeah, I got to say, I've been advocating against any idea that a running back should go in the first round. But they did it. They did it, and the way they've justified it is he's not just a running back. This is a guy we're going to line up in the slot. This is a guy we're going to throw the ball a ton to. And you know what? I don't have to like it. My job isn't to like everything they do. It just isn't. So, to go to your first point about the 4-year timeline, it depends. We have to see how they use him. If this is a guy that's going to get 12, 15 carries a game, I'm not so confident he's going to last 5-6 years in the NFL. If this is a guy that will touch the ball 4, 5, 6 times on the ground and then get you 3, 4, 5 receptions a game, I think you're cooking at that point. But I got to ask you something, Bo. They took the running back. Are you okay with it? I haven't heard that from you yet.
I've grown to be okay with it because, I mean, as cocky as it is to say, before this draft even started, to me, every pick was a luxury pick. Like, I was looking at our roster, and obviously this was before we lost Swift, but everybody had high hopes for him every season that he played. But, I mean, I looked at our draft, every pick that we had was a luxury pick because we were in a position, we had upgraded the worst part of our defense. I mean, as much as he's not a huge impact on defense, we even got Jalen Reeves-Maben back, who is a dog at linebacker, and he can play defense when he needs to. Everything was a luxury for me. I told myself I was not going to be upset as long as we didn't have a Jelani Tavai quality pick in the first round. I was perfectly happy with whoever we got, and I wasn't expecting Gibbs by any means, but as soon as, I sat on it and thought about it, he's a dog too. He's fast, and I'm okay with it. I'll live with it, and we'll see what happens. But I mean, I'm still all in.
Did you? Let me ask you a question because I want to see, because I've heard a lot of people say similar things to what you're saying, and I agree with you. I think at first everybody's shocked, but the more you kind of learn to see where Brad was coming from and why he took Jahmyr Gibbs, and then you had people in the teams specifically in the teens, that were trying to take Jahmyr Gibbs as well. Was it easier to swallow, when you realized that Jahmyr Gibbs was going to be playing more of a hybrid role when they first initially took him? Like, when you found out he was going to play wide receiver, was it much easier to digest that pick?
Yeah, I think so, and especially with, J-Mo being suspended. And like everybody said, like, everybody was worried that our draft got thrown into a tailspin because of J-Mo. But the thing is, like, I'm pretty sure you guys have said, like, maybe not, but they've known about the gambling stuff for at least a month.
Right.
It's not like it didn't blindside them. It blindsided the fan base, but it didn't blindside them. They were preparing for that, for the biggest, solidest portion of the draft planning. So they absolutely knew what they're going to do. And I think even Sam Laporta comes in and helps with that a lot, too.
I would agree.
We got some undrafted free.
Yeah, I would agree. The Laporta pick, I think, shores up the offense.
Yeah.
Any depth concerns you had or talent. I mean, they're talented now at every position on offense. But, Bo, I appreciate you calling in, man. Well done. You're welcome back anytime, buddy.
Appreciate it, Bo.
Absolutely, guys. Have a good one.
You too.
Yeah, look, I mean,
I think that's like consensus. Like what Bo just said is
we'll
like
see.
a lot of Lions
We'll
fans.
see if it's consensus. JB, let's go to the next caller. Who do we got?
All right, I will send
watch
you
the
guys
next one here.
Eric.
All right, Eric, you're on the morning show. What do you got for us, buddy?
What up, though, guys?
What's up?
What's going on?
Hey, nothing much. Concerning the draft, I went into this draft honestly with an open mind because I told myself I wouldn't get emotional about nothing. And once Devin Witherspoon went off the board, I kind of figured the draft was going to change. Because, like you said, Adam, I had resided that the Lions weren't even thinking about Jalen Carter. I had a little bit of hope, but then I'm like, they ain't thinking about him. So when we traded the pick, I was like, okay, I figured that. But I was kind of reading between the lines of what Brad was saying in the press conferences leading up to the draft. And I always thought the pick was going to be Beydoun, but when he picked Gibbs, I clapped. And I'm like, why am I clapping? But see, I watched a lot of Alabama games, so I know what this dude can do. So I was like, that's a great pick. Then at 18, Jack Campbell. But have anybody ever thought about this? Look at where Brad is picking these guys from. Alabama. High IQ.
Yep.
Nick Saban. Iowa. Laporta. Jack Campbell. They speak highly of these guys. They captains. And Laporta, he's the best play-action pass tight end in the draft, which fits us perfectly.
Absolutely.
So I think Brad is starting to throw out this notion of where you can draft players and say, no, my board ain't like nothing else y'all have. I'm going by what I see we need and we want on this team. And with the reaches for D tackle and guard, one thing I trust Brad in, I know Brad finds talent in places other people don't look.
Right.
Look how many undrafted free agents we done had come in and contribute. Look how many late draft picks we done had and come in and contribute. So I trust Brad and his scouting staff with their evaluations. But no, I wasn't mad. I liked the Gibbs pick, honestly. I did, because like I said, I saw what he can do. The dude breaks a lot of tackles. He's elusive, he's explosive. Not only in the pass game, but he has some twitchiness in the run game. But Montgomery is going to take the load of the work. But I think Brad just said, look, we going for it. We win now. Missing the playoffs this year is unacceptable.
Yeah.
Jeff, you
and
take
I
that.
think that's how they're going at it.
And by the way, you nailed it, Eric, especially with what kind of players they're looking for. Brad says, screw all your mock drafts. We're looking at high-character guys, productive players, and he did just that. So to your point, getting guys that can come in and contribute right away on a team that's favorited in the NFC North. So I'm with you. Brad's, whatever he's cooking, I mean, you can't tell a gourmet chef how to cook, Eric, because it's clearly worked out. James Houston, Malcolm Rodriguez, like he's finding players late in drafts. And UDFA's Jerry Jacobs being one of those players who will play in your secondary this year, and he just continues to impress. Eric, you're spot on.
Eric, I'll tell you this, and you let me know what you think before we got to go to break. At the end of the day, sure, I'm happy that you like the picks. I'm happy for you. For me, the biggest question is, I don't think it's a reach when the players work, right? We talked about this last week leading into the draft before anything happened. Nobody looks back at old prior drafts and says, man, Tariq Woolen would have been a first-round pick had you known, right? So at this point, if Brad Holmes, who I think has earned the right, values certain players, certain prototypes, 7, 8, 10, 15 spots higher than, quote, consensus national, I'm willing to live with that. That's why I didn't mind the Jack Campbell pick at all. But when you go really against conventional football, the last 15, 20 years of football, and you do the running back in the first round thing, forget the last 15, 20, just the last 10 years alone. When you do that, it either really has to work, or I don't think you can ever win with this pick. I think Gibbs has got to be a hybrid, dual threat, phenomenal football player day one, which I think he can be, but it is asking a lot of a guy that's selected 12th overall, regardless of what you think of him as a player, no?
Right. And, Adam, I'm not going to say I didn't have no questions. I did. Because it's like, whoa, that was kind of high. But at the same time, I'm looking at, like we always say, we know we need a defense, but why not strengthen what we already know is our strength?
Right.
And I think that's what Brad did. But, yeah, Adam, I had questions. I did. But once he came away in the second round, when he got Brian Branch, I was over the moon. I was like, okay, I see what he's doing. Because we went from the worst secondary, and can you agree, Adam, to probably one of the best secondaries in the NFL?
I would say NFC, not the NFL. I mean, my goodness, there's some really talented.
In the NFC, yeah.
But it's really good. No, I
One
would
thing
agree.
I like, we're versatile now in the secondary.
Yep.
Very versatile.
Well, look, I appreciate the call, Eric. Well done, buddy. You're welcome back anytime. Thank you so much.
Thanks, guys.
Appreciate you.
Have a good day.
Man, we've
You
had
too.
really good callers so far, by the way. I'm really enjoying this. When we get back from the break, top of the hour, we'll get to more of your calls, so thank you to everybody on hold right now. I do want to acknowledge two things. One, and I believe it was Kid Keith in the chat who said this. He's asking, hey, Adam, how are you okay with the idea of a running back? I'm not.
Yeah, you've went through this.
But I don't have to like it.
Right.
But I have to accept it. The guy's on the fucking roster. I don't have a choice. Jahmyr Gibbs on the roster. I like the football player. I don't like the idea of taking him 12. I don't like the idea of running backs in the first round.
Yeah.
That doesn't change. But what do you want me to sit here and tell you, I hate the pick so... You just want me to complain, bitch? That's not what I'm going to do.
Our job is to understand why Brad took Jahmyr Gibbs.
And then you hold them
share
accountable,
our
guys.
thoughts.
It's
Exactly.
very simple.
If it doesn't work out, you're going to talk
My
about
job isn't on the line if Jahmyr Gibbs works or doesn't work, right? Brad Holmes and his staff is.
we'll just be talking about
very different conversations. But let's take a break. When we get back, we'll continue the callers. Great job so far, all of you who are calling in. We'll get to more after the break, but before we do, Jeff, our good friends over at Guardian Alarm.
Well, while we're on the topic of improving the Lions defense, how about you improve your own defense in your own home? It's Guardian Alarm. Allow them to offer you customized solutions from real experts, 24/7 professional monitoring, and technology backed by people. Your safety and security deserves technology that's not only been proven to work, but by people that have been proven to care. Call 1-800-STAY-OUT for more information.
It's a great day to get some Centron in your life. Okay. There it is. Centron, here we go. Gotta grab the cranberry. Oh wait, it's 2 for $4. Gotta double up with the classic as well. Centron World, baby. Centron, available at select Krogers, and if you wanna know how, go to @CentronWorld.com. You get dope like me. You know what? Why wait? Great taste, guaranteed.
Make sure it's seen and heard. Corner, jumper, tweet us, hop on the YouTube chat, slide in the DMS at Woodward Sports on all social media.
Guys struggling to keep it up, depressed, unmotivated, losing muscle, and let's just be honest, you're struggling to lose all that belly fat. Well, my good friends, Dr. Jason and his excellent team over at Custom Health Centers have a safe and effective way to restore your vitality. It is through their testosterone optimization therapy. Guys, don't wait, don't hesitate, don't call Dr. Jason and his team. 877-965-0910 is the number. Call today if you're struggling with weight loss, if you're struggling with getting rid of unwanted belly fat, if you're just tired, depressed, you're really unmotivated to do anything, give them a call. They'll help change your life. I know Darren McCarty's on this plan as well, so he's been very energetic recently.
Yeah.
if that's even the word. But let's continue with the callers, guys. You guys have done a great job so far. I think a lot of people this morning are understanding. You don't have to love it. I think it's fair to question what Brad Holmes has done, especially in the first round. You're really looking at like, whoa, dude, this goes against conventional logic, this and that. But on the flip side of that, if I were to make the case for the running back, and more notably the player, Jahmyr Gibbs at 12, to me, how it would have to work is the Lions have to buck the trend here. This guy has to become a hybrid receiver 70% of the time, to where you're looking at him like, holy shit, like this is kind of your version of Deebo Samuel. I know the size, stature, all that's different, but I'm trying to really justify it at least.
His role is just a weapon.
Yes.
An offensive weapon.
Not some guy that just lines up in the backfield and pass protects and runs the ball occasionally. No. That's the only way I think they can justify it, but let's go to the callers. Let's go to the people. JB, who do we got?
I will send you guys James.
All right, James, you're on the morning show. What do you think this morning, buddy?
Hey, good morning. Yeah, I'm along the lines with you. I'm never going to be a fan of a first-round running back. I mean, you look at comparable this year, who was it? Vaughn out of Kansas State. He went 5th round.
Yep.
And to a team who had his dad working for him. So that's where I go. I hope he works out because he's a hell of a player. But I'm just never going to be a fan of a first-round running back.
James,
you look at the history, like
James,
brought
you
up.
and I are on the same
I'm going to root
page
for him
here.
like crazy.
Yep, you and I are on the same page.
I'm going to be rooting crazy for him.
Yeah, I just think to their point, right, and I think it's always important to have a conversation, James, is on the flip side, this is not just a 3-down running back. This is a guy that's going to carry the ball in spurts, but more, well, from what we're being told, more than anything, he's going to line up essentially as a wide receiver.
Yeah.
So, again, I'm with you. I couldn't stomach the idea of a running back in the first round. It just doesn't work anymore. You're going to find 2-3 running backs in this draft alone that have gone in the 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th round that will be very productive, and you're going to sit there and say, oh, well, we took one to 12. Again, the only way I think Gibbs justifies it is if he's a dynamic, explosive player, James. But I would agree with you.
And then another thing, the only thing I would have liked to have seen, even though I'm still happy overall, I guess, a little more defensive edge rusher, maybe, unless they think Pascal's coming back and going to be, playing like he could have last year.
Well, let me ask you, what do you think about Pascal? Because if I were to put myself in Brad Holmes' shoes, I would say I just spent a second-round pick last year on him.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not doing this again. I need to see him on the field, and if he doesn't perform, well, then I'll go to free agency. I'll go to my practice squad,
Trade
and then
deadline?
I'll address it.
Yeah.
I can address it at the deadline, or I could just do it in the next draft. What do you think, James?
I'd probably go along those lines because, like you said, you don't want to just completely waste a second rounder from last year, not see what it's going to bring to fruition. You want to make sure that it is a bust or he's going to be a heck of a player. You don't know yet. You got to get it on the field and see.
All right. Well,
that's
James,
what I forgot about it. Draft.
Oh well, James, I appreciate you calling in. Hell of a job. Thank you so much. Feel free to call back anytime. By the way.
Yeah.
Have a good rest of your day, buddy.
Yeah, appreciate it, James.
By the way, I think that's the majority of the fan base that questions the pick. I think they're more like James. Nice people, understand, right? They can play along with the game.
They can root for him.
They can root for the player, but it doesn't mean they have to love the idea of a running back at 12, and I respect that.
And I think you nailed it, too. The way he can prove it, because he's not a bell cow back. It's not going to be him proving himself at 12 isn't going to be like Beydoun proving himself at 8. Beydoun's role will be different than Jameer. Jameer will have to prove himself both in the run game and the receiving game. So we'll see. I think Jameer will do that, but you're right. It's not about what he does carry-wise. It's all around his impact on offense.
And he's just going to have to be a difference maker day one.
Yeah, and he could play he could play special teams too. I mean, he did it at Alabama.
I don't want my 12th overall pick playing special teams, but sure.
Not every time, but what I mean is, like back in the day, Pittsburgh, Antonio Brown, when they needed him to return kicks, he did it. He didn't do it every time, but in a big game, big moment, put Jameer back there, like with his speed.
All right, JB, who do we got next?
I will send you guys Daryl.
All right, Daryl, you're on the morning show. Good morning, buddy. What's up?
How you doing, guys? This conversation won't be as flagrant as the last one, if you remember. When I was talking about Brad and everything else like that, how I was so satisfied this and satisfied that, and I am, because he did what he has to do. And with Gibbs, I was thinking about our offense, the way we drafted. The best thing we could do is get the ball out of, and I'm a backer for golf. But the speed, we've got the speed now, and one thing that's going to help golf is get the ball out of his hand quicker. Mm-hmm. And even with Green, if he gets in there, they break out of their pattern really fast. And then going back to Laporta, I liked him a lot because he was able to break tackles, I feel, a lot better than TJ was. So I'm really happy with everything that's going on. And with Campbell, I was a big Kansas fan, and it seemed like Brad saw the need of stopping the pass over the middle instead of another edge finder or edge rusher. So I'm happy with the draft. I'm not going to criticize. Like I said, I'm satisfied. Here I go again. I'm satisfied that I can just sit back and let Brad do his job. And right now, like you said, Adam, we got to see him on the field. But once we do, I think we're all going to be pretty much satisfied. And I wrote down when they were being drafted. It doesn't matter to me when they were drafted, to be honest with you. After I look at who they got drafted, I'd rather have who than when. So
fair enough.
I just wanted to chime in real quick and say I'm happy and bless you guys, and I really do enjoy the show.
Appreciate you, Daryl. Thank you so much. You have a good rest of your day, buddy.
You too, dude.
Okay, I can get with it. I don't mind it. And you know what? I think, can we agree on one thing before we head out of here? Have the Lions showed us that they have if you want to call it a formula, maybe an identity is the better word. Can we agree they've built an identity and they're sticking to it?
Yeah. I'm pretty sure Brad and Dan said they want players that fit what they're doing.
Yeah, I know they want the players they love, and they're not looking at, the mock boards and all that stuff.
Right.
But, I mean, there is a common theme here with every player they've drafted.
Yes.
And you can start connecting the dots. And when you start doing that, well, hey, we have this certain type of player, this certain profile, and this is what we look for. The running back, honestly, whoever guessed that, God bless you. I never crossed my mind. And I think I said this Friday morning. I was so angry because Barry Sanders had tweeted out something about Beydoun and loving to have him in a Lions uniform.
I tried to convince you.
And I remember like everybody freaking out like, they're going to take a running back. They're going to take a running back. It's going to be Beydoun. And who knew this whole time they had their eyes set on Jahmyr Gibbs.
Yeah.
Especially after Witherspoon was taken at 5. Now, they haven't confirmed it, but let's say Witherspoon doesn't go at 5. Well, that really changes your board because you probably take him at 6. You move up from 18 to get Gibbs, and you probably have to trade those 2 second-round picks to go back into the first round, early 20s to get Jack. So
quantity is a little better now with what they did.
He did well, man. Brad Holmes knows how to maneuver in the draft, a good contingency plan. I don't mind it, but again, you got to question the running back thing. I just don't know how we can have a legitimate conversation and everybody is just okay with the fact that they took a running back. Even if you tell me he's going to be a receiver 70% of the time, he plays at a position that is the lowest paid position at the top end for a reason. The shelf life is significantly lower than most positions. Like, I'm wishing the best.
Deep breaths.
I'm wishing the best.
Deep
Let's take
breaths.
a break. When we get back, we got to go to the NBA playoffs, right? Because Jeff loves to criticize Steph Curry. But, hey, you know what? LeBron James and Kevin Durant are not allowed to be criticized, according to Jeff. So we'll do that next. James Harden absolutely carrying the Sixers. Nikola Jokic, Game 2 win for the Nuggets. They're up 2-0 now on the Suns. They protect home court. We'll get to that next. But before we do, Jeff, our good friends over at Big Boy.
Let me tell you about them. Strawberry Fest is back at Big Boy, and try classic breakfast items like some strawberry hotcakes or mouth-watering red velvet waffles. And if you're not feeling breakfast, you could try the strawberry bacon chicken wrap or cool off with the refreshing summer splash salad. Get it all and more at Big Boy.
How would you like to win not one, but 2 vehicles of your choice? One for you and one for your wife, your girlfriend, or your best bud. Get to Lady Jane's today for an award-winning haircut and automatically enter for your chance to win. Courtesy of Les Stanford Buick GMC of Ferndale. Lady Jane's, open 7 days a week, walk in anytime. It's wicked awesome.
Since the dawn of moving people, Chevrolet has led the way. The world of transportation is changing. At Feldman Chevrolet, we are leading the charge forward. With every electric vehicle, every mile traveled, one Feldman at a time. The company that puts more Chevys on Michigan roads is now the #1 name for Chevy electric vehicles.
We are the network for Detroit by Detroiters. Welcome to the Woodward Sports Network.
Welcome back to the Morning Woodward Show. If you're watching at woodwardsports.com, thanks for checking out the website. Please be sure to look around, look at those articles. We have plenty of merchandise, lots of great content from merchandise coming out of the draft. There's some additional things that we'll be dropping today. And if you are watching on YouTube, like, subscribe. If you're listening after the fact, please download the podcast and leave us a 5-star review.
All right, we're back here on the morning show. Well done, Gabby, as always. Let's talk some NBA playoffs. Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, I got to clear the air with some of these false accusations.
They're not false accusations.
Like, I don't criticize I criticize everybody but LeBron. All right, like,
you know it's true. Just admit it. It's okay.
Getting nervous. The nervous laugh.
Look, it's okay.
No,
we all have some bias in us. I mean, come on.
Bias? What?
Yeah.
I just respect greatness.
You respect greatness, except when it isn't LeBron.
No,
listen. Steph Curry, you and Flannels, especially Flannel Sam.
No,
this is what kills me. I'm proud of this company. I really am.
Of course.
I'm so proud of you and you, Gabby, and everybody here. And what we do every day, amazing work. But it really gets me Like, how the fuck do we employ people like Flannel Sam?
Okay.
They say the shit they say. It's unacceptable at sometimes, but you know what? We're good people here.
So I am not even in the same area code as Sam Flannel when it comes to his Steph Curry criticism. So he's on an island with those takes about Steph Curry. But if you're going to say Steph Curry's better than Magic Johnson, we're going to have a discussion.
Why?
I'm going to have to
Why?
correct.
So Magic Johnson is allowed to play with James Worthy and Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, but Steph Curry isn't allowed to allow Kevin Durant to come play with him, so Kevin Durant could win some rings, and then he leaves and he's been a fucking tire fire since.
Okay, but
right?
The difference is Magic Johnson was the best player at all times.
And Steph Curry has and always was the best player on Golden State, even in the KD
No,
years.
you're changing it now because you said the most important player. So is he the best?
He is the best player.
So
absolutely.
he was better than Kevin Durant when Kevin Durant joined the
Yes,
Warriors.
he was more important and better. Absolutely.
Okay.
I have so much data to back it up.
All
I mean,
right,
where do you want me to start?
I have 2
You want me to
Finals
start to the
MVPs.
years- You want me to start with the years prior, where he was dusting them in the Western Conference semifinals and finals? Or do you want me to start in the years prior where he was winning without him? Or the year after and the years after when he won without him?
Yeah, no, I'll go through it. It just a little
Kevin
history
Durant's
lesson.
sitting there,
Of course.
just picking a new girlfriend every week. One day it's Kyrie, now it's Devin Booker. After this offseason, he'll run to LeBron.
All right, hold on. Let me just correct you real quick. Okay, so before
Please.
Kevin Durant, let's just go through it. Really little history lesson. So before Kevin Durant, it was the Golden State Warriors, right? The core they had. You know how they got that championship, right? I mean, are we just going to ignore?
Did they cheat?
Are we just going to ignore the context of that?
Did you see how Magic won his first chip?
Okay, well, hold on. We're on Curry right now.
Oh,
we'll
no,
get to
I
Magic.
just want to nitpick on people and how they won their chips because of injuries. What? LeBron James, Ray Allen shot in the corner 3. That doesn't matter? That doesn't alter history completely?
LeBron had 17.
And Steph Curry was dropping 35 in those games without Draymond.
LeBron, the Cavaliers walked into that finals, no Kyrie, no Kevin Love, and was still up 2-1 on Stephen Curry, your boy.
Is LeBron James a better player than Steph Curry?
Yes, he is.
We agree.
But LeBron
then he
with
should
Matthew,
be up 2-1.
With Matthew Dellavedova as his second best player.
You're acting
That's
as
not
if
a
that
bad
Golden
look.
State team was just light years, superstar. It wasn't. It was a young Draymond Green who was a very good defender, very good leader,
so now they're
communicator.
young.
No.
Okay, no,
and
go
then
on.
you had Klay Thompson, who was never, ever, ever capable of being a one on a team. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, no, he's not.
So what am I missing here?
But they were still all great players.
Yes, and the injuries were unfortunate, but that takes away from his chip. What about LeBron going 2-2 in finals in Miami? Does that not matter?
Oh, no, of course. I mean, the Dallas Mavericks, that finals matters. Just like when Curry threw a 3-1 lead. I mean, that matters.
Yeah, it matters.
So all these things matter.
Okay, so what does that have to do with Magic Johnson or me saying Steph
Magic
Curry
Johnson, okay,
is arguably the greatest point guard ever? What is Magic Johnson? What? I told him to get fucking AIDS and shorten his career? No, I didn't. Is that my problem?
But that...
Did I tell Michael Jordan to take 2 years off and he could have done an 8-peat? It's not my problem. It didn't happen.
Woulda, coulda, shoulda. Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
exactly.
We're
Exactly.
operating.
Just like the Magic argument you brought up.
No, it's...
Oh, he's only 31 years old.
No, it's just...
When he retired.
No, I'm just...
Shoulda, woulda, coulda.
I'm just stating a fact. He retired at, 32, 33 years old?
Oh,
Steph Curry
goodness.
right now is older and...
You're watching the greatest point guard.
It's not Magic's
who
fault.
Can facilitate, play off the
He
ball,
got AIDS.
shoot anywhere in the gym, and we're gonna sit here and criticize his first championship because it was against your baby LeBron James.
No, listen. By the way,
we got to talk NBA playoffs. We can't do the
No,
Steph
I'll
Curry
give it to
thing
you.
again.
I'm not willing to put Curry over Magic.
I would
right
love to
now.
know why.
It just Magic to me, and even we talked about this months ago about where he ranks, and we both agreed Steph is 2. So because he beat the Kings, he's now 1.
So Magic's allowed to play on a super team, and so is Larry Bird, but we don't discount any of their chips. But when Steph Curry allows Kevin Durant to come to town, allows him to play within the team, does everything right to allow Kevin Durant to succeed.
Oh, he
it's
allowed
unacceptable.
him to succeed.
Oh, absolutely,
Just put
he
the
did.
ball in
Look at him
KD's
after.
hands.
Look at him before and look at him after. How's he doing? He's down 2-0 right now.
No. Listen, we can agree that Kevin Durant on being the best player on a mediocre team, he's not taking you to a championship.
And
But
Steph Curry on a mediocre team, which was the Warriors last
watch
year.
what you're saying.
Carried that team to the finals and won.
That team was mediocre.
Jordan Poole
it's essentially
is the biggest hit and miss in the NBA. He's the biggest mystery. Look at the series against Sacramento. Steph Curry willed them
of course.
to a
Game 7. Yes, he had
let
50.
alone winning it in general. It is an below average bench. Kevon Looney, phenomenal. Draymond Green can't hit a shot if his life fucking depended on it.
Poor Curry.
Klay Thompson was 1 for 10 in the first half in Game 7. I don't want to hear it.
Yeah,
I don't want to hear it. All these guys are playing at this level while Steph Curry's here. It's not even close.
So we're just going to ignore Klay averaging 20 in that series, or Andrew Wiggins coming back and playing.
You can average 20 when you shoot 44% from the field.
Again,
Must be nice.
And I'm not just trying to discount Steph, but let's not act like the poor old Steph is on this.
So Steph is not better than KD
right now. Like
in general, if you're going to rank them all time.
All time? Oh yes.
So I was Steph.
But don't ignore when Kevin Durant went to the Warriors. He was the best player.
I can't do it.
He
No,
was
he
the
wasn't.
best player.
Steph
Yes,
was the best
he
player
was.
in the league at the time. No, he wasn't.
What?
No, he wasn't. Steph Curry was the best. Only behind LeBron.
How
the Nuggets.
So that's even more of a knock. You're the best player and you can't win Finals MVP when Kevin Durant's on your team?
He loses Finals MVP, averaging 29, 8, and 9.4 assists. 29, 8, and 9.4. That's not a Finals MVP?
No, I'll take the guy who's averaging...
Unfortunately, Kevin Durant averaged 31, 8, and 4. What a difference. Not the guy that assisted more. Not the guy that did all the work off the ball. No. The guy that just shoots the ball because he's allowed to and doesn't have to play a lick of defense. I know. Okay,
Wow.
anyways. Moving on.
By the way,
the Nuggets. I want to get to the Nuggets. Up 2-0 on the Phoenix Suns. Jeff, Devin Booker, what the fuck is going on with your team?
Yeah, he's unbelievable. Devin Booker's been cooking. And I did pick the Nuggets in the series. I picked them to win in 6. Right now, they're up 2-0. I'm not shocked. The Suns, right now, it is not their year. Good team. They have a terrible bench. You know how many points they got from their bench last night? Can you guess? How many points do you think they got from their bench?
I don't know. They scored 87, so it must have been none.
4. They got 4 points from like 6 players. So the Suns, they don't have depth. They don't have chemistry. A lot of isolation basketball. It's just, it's actually cringe to watch. So the Suns right now, although Devin is essentially just put the ball in my hands and I'll go score points, that ain't going to work. Denver's a better
Chris Paul
all-around
going down
team.
is not ideal for them.
No, it's not either. And again, I mean, you have Devin Booker, Kevin Durant. Right now, I mean, you could argue one of the better 2 isolation scorers in basketball, but you got to have a complete team. Denver has a complete team. They're well coached. They're deep.
They play defense well.
Yeah, they're.
I thought last night was an interesting game, but
too much. It was way too much ISO ball, especially with KD. I mean, if we're talking KD, he played terrible last night too. So, again, Devin Booker's the only one out there. You could tell he's getting frustrated too. But I'm still sticking with the Nuggets. Give it to me in 6.
Yeah, it's almost as if like you can't just add stars on a team and win, and you have to actually, I don't know, accept coaching. Coaching matters. But,
It does.
Coaching doesn't matter. I guess maybe it doesn't. Who knows? How about James Harden? I'll come out and say this. I don't care if the Celtics go on to win the series 4-2 or 4-1. But it was nice to just see James Harden have a moment in the playoffs. Just a moment. To drop 45, no Embiid, on the road, game 1, Boston. You're at the Garden, and it is popping off. And you silence the crowd with that 3 on Horford at the end of the game. I mean, that was a good for him moment, you know. And Harden hasn't had many of those, so I was happy for Harden. He played out of his mind, dude, out of his mind.
Yeah, he did. I especially know Embiid to go into Boston to play the way they did, especially late. I know Grant Williams had a terrible turnover late in the game, and that essentially, I mean, Tyrese Maxey had an easy bucket. Again, it's just. The 76ers, although I'm still going to go with the Celtics, that win was significant. I mean, to not have Embiid, and that's a way to start the series. I'm still going to go Boston, and I'll say, I mean, I was going to pick him in 6.
Do we have a timeline for Embiid?
I was going to pick him in 6. They say it might be a small tweak in his knee. I don't know the significance of it, but with Embiid and his prior injury history, something small in his knee could be really significant. So I don't know. Hopefully he's back for game 2, but give me the Celtics still. The Miami Heat, though, beating the Knicks, that's the biggest shock because let's be honest here, all right?
That series is over. I hope you know that.
The Miami Heat limped into the playoffs, and they beat the Bucks.
And they lost Victor Oladipo, and they lost Tyler
Victor
Hero.
Oladipo and Tyler Hero, and Jimmy Butler's...
you know why that series is over? Because the Knicks, at home, held Miami for the first time all season to under 35% from the field goal. From the field.
Mm-hmm.
And they were only up by a few points at halftime.
I know.
Series is over. Miami is going to probably sweep them. Maybe they 4-1 if they're lucky in New York.
And that's why right now, I just saw a stat, actually. I think it was yesterday, and it was sent to me. This is the first time or second time, can't remember, in NBA history where a first, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, and eighth seed are all right now in the playoffs still. So it's very even. I mean, you had teams like Miami who snuck in, Golden State, the Lakers, like these teams that kind of just got in late in the season. They're alive still. And that's the biggest argument, and this is why for the Pistons, especially in years like this, you'll see anomaly years where Trae Young with the Hawks, they go on a run in the East. You see Luka with the Mavericks, they go on a run in the West. These things happen in the NBA playoffs too. I know it's longer series. In the NFL, it's a little different. It's one game. You could still make runs. Like Miami, with the injuries, like they have like 4 or 5 undrafted players playing right now, and they're up 1-0 on the Knicks. So again, this applies to the Pistons.
You just have to wait 4 more years, Pistons fans.
No,
don't worry.
You
just
don't.
have to wait 4 more years.
There's no way. So just get in the dance, and you never know.
Yeah, that was fun. Who do you think wins the Nuggets series? Nuggets done? 2-0?
Yeah, give me. I have the. I'm gonna be honest. I might have the Nuggets coming out the West. Right now, they're just like they even have guys on their bench that aren't playing that can play, like Reggie.
Saying, you and Anthony laughed at me before the season started, and I said the Nuggets.
I laughed at you?
You did.
Did I?
You said Jamal Murray's unreliable, injury. Who knows what he's going to look like? Jokic doesn't deliver in the playoffs. Yeah. I'll pull up the segment. We'll play it on the show tomorrow.
I love Denver. I think they have a good team.
Oh, yeah. You said you love Denver, but you liked Phoenix more, and you thought that Memphis would be really good this year. So it's not a bad take.
No, man.
It's not like you said anything wrong.
No. And by the way, the Suns, that was pre-KD, now post-KD. Give them one more year. KD's under contract, so... I mean, they got time. It's the Denver Nuggets. It's their year this year.
Look, guys,
it has to be.
Life lesson here, and I hope you use Kevin Durant. And I'm not knocking him as a player. I'm just knocking the moves, okay? When you move around as much as Kevin Durant moves, this is what happens. No stability, no camaraderie, no chemistry, none of it.
And he's not a leader.
It's like a marriage. When you get married, you're committing for the chemistry, the support, the love, everything that comes with it. But when you want to get married, but then you hook around with 3-4 different people, you lose the chemistry. You lose the how do I explain this? You lose the passion for what this whole thing is about. Kevin Durant moving as much as he has, I mean, it's kind of just not fun anymore.
Yeah, Kevin Durant,
like moving to Golden State, it was like a big deal at the time. It was like, holy shit, top 5 player in the game is going to a 73-win team. What the hell's going on? Oh, and then it was to Brooklyn and
with that super
the next
team,
chapter, and it was
now with the Suns.
Well, I need to go. Kyrie, come play with me. Oh, no, I can't play with Kyrie anymore. Okay, let me go to Phoenix. And then once they get knocked out, Phoenix, I can't be here. You traded your entire franchise away from me. Sorry, I have to go.
Booner,
where's the commitment?
Hold on, I gotta address Booner here.
What do you say?
Employee of Woodward Sports, WoodwardSports.com. Booner Sports Show says, but KD was the one who helped build the Warriors culture, right, Jeff? Who said that? I never said.
He's giving you shit, dude.
He's
never
said.
You shit.
I never said Kevin Durant built the culture. What I am saying is when Kevin Durant was on the Warriors, he was their best player. Now, importance or leader, like that stuff, I'm talking about just skill-wise. Like, go get a bucket. They give it to KD typically if you watch the finals. So that's what I'm saying. Jesus, Booner.
All right, good segment, fun segment. Let's take a break. When we get back, I want to talk about Jack Campbell projecting his career in the NFL, what it's going to look like. We'll get to that next. But before we do, Jeff, our good friends over at at Big Boy.
Let me tell you about them. Our friends over at... Wait, I already told you about Big Boy.
Did you?
I did.
Well, I'm a fucking idiot.
Let me tell you about our friends over at Swiss Insurance. Can I do that? All right. Well, let me tell you about them. You like our draft picks? You think the GM did a good job? Be a boss and take control of your insurance options. Draft a company that will give you the most cost-effective plan and protect you like the best O-line in the league, the Detroit Lions. Email Swiss Insurance today, mark@swissins.com. That's mark@swissins.com. Or go to www.swissins.com for more information.
By now you know me, Christina Schnurry, as the obvious choice in real estate. And you know my website, soldchristina.com, as your #1 resource for buying or selling your home. Myself, along with my amazing staff, pride ourselves on making your home buying and selling experience a relaxing and easy one. Come see why we are the obvious choice. Christina Gennari at soldchristina.com, the obvious choice in real estate.
We don't like to brag that we are the toughest sports network in Detroit, but we do have a guy named Darren McCarty on our side.
Lemieux and McCarty, who've had a good knockdown drag up. There they go, right on the whistle. They were talking to one another.
Woodward Sports.
We're back here on the Morning Woodward Show, live, woodwardsports.com. As always, Adam, Beydoun, Jeff, Iafrate, and Gabrielle Phillips. Fair?
Close.
I can't.
You did it already
at the
today.
start. I gave it to you at the start because
I know.
you had a long weekend.
Baby steps.
One day at a time, one break at a time, okay?
Okay.
Here's what I want to do, guys. I want to talk about Jack Campbell, how his career projects in the NFL. Jeff, you brought this up on Friday of last week, and you said if you just look at the Butkus Award winners in history, the last 15, 20 years, I mean, more often than not, these guys are walking into the league, and if they're not just good players, they end up being Hall of Fame, all-pro type players.
Right.
So let me ask you this. I'll be very direct. Where does Jack Campbell lie day one? Week one of the NFL season, what's he going to be doing? Is he on the field, on the bench, in and out of rotation, or is he a starter? How do you expect his career to go with the Detroit Lions? Did they find their next Chris Spielman?
I think they did. I think Jack checks a ton of boxes in what you're looking for, especially for somebody who could be wearing the green dot maybe in the next couple of years, if not next year. So Jack, the leadership qualities, the fact that he loves football, like he looked like, especially at his press conference, just throw a uniform on him. Like, let's just get on the field, Jack. I mean, the guy loves football, and I think he's going to impress not only Dan Campbell but Kelvin Shepard. He's going to impress all these guys. They're going to love Jack, and they're going to find ways to implement him year one. I do believe that, especially last year. Malcolm Rodriguez, he played, he produced, but let's be honest here, Jack, much more physically gifted than Malcolm, unfortunately. I mean, 6'5", 240, what he can do in coverage. They're definitely going to use Jack Campbell. And if we go off the list of Butkus award winners in winning Big Ten Defensive Player of the Year, like Jack Campbell is going to play year one for a defense, especially with Jack's strength, and he's good against the run as well. They couldn't stop a nosebleed last year. So to answer the question, I do think Jack Campbell year one will shock a lot of people because he's going to impress the coaching staff. And in training camp, he's going to give it his all. Like, the guy's a hard worker, and he takes his business serious. So I do. I have a lot of faith in Jack and what he can do year one in that linebacker room. I really do. I think you would agree with me there.
I would. I want to compare him to the last 6'4", 6', almost 5 linebacker that I grew up watching, and that was Brian Urlacher. Now, the size is relevant here. That's really the only comparison you can make. You're talking about a rookie versus a Hall of Famer. I don't think that's fair, but the size can work if his athleticism translates enough. I think this is going to be one of the 7, 8 best linebackers in just a few years in the NFL. This is a guy that can do it all. He can pass, he can drop back into coverage and pass cover. He was one of the best pass cover linebackers coming out of the draft, the highest PFF score among all Power 5 conferences. The athleticism score is just stupid. It's just stupid. He tested out way better than you thought. And if he can develop a little bit in terms of run support, if he can become 90%, 80% of what he is as a pass cover linebacker in terms of run support, you have a multiple time Pro Bowl linebacker on your hands. This guy is a freak. And you know what? Urlacher is the only 6'4", 6'5" linebacker I recall as a kid. If you guys have any ones that you remember in the chat, feel free to add them. But for me, it's Brian Urlacher. We need LeVar Arrington. I don't think LeVar Arrington was that tall, though. Was he? LeVar Arrington was like 6'1", 6'2", maybe.
Yeah, I mean, he's 6'3". So in
okay,
terms
well,
of,
that's
I guess,
kind of fair then.
Yeah, but I want to talk about specifically what separates Jack and why I believe he'll get a lot more looked he'll get looked at early is because of what he brings, the ability to turn the ball over. And that's something that the Lions talked about last year, getting the football, taking the football away. That's Jack Campbell's specialty. I mean, you watch Iowa this year. He was a big reason, these guys, I think he had 2 one-handed interceptions, had a couple forced fumbles. I know he didn't have the sack numbers everybody loves, but again, he's in coverage. He's forcing turnovers. He's disrupting, especially in the pass game. I love a lot of what Jack Campbell does. I think he has a lot of intangibles that Dan, Calvin Shepard, these guys are going to be looking at. So, again, if Jack doesn't contribute early on, I mean, I'd be a little worried, but I would also be shocked. I don't see a scenario. I think he comes in and presses everybody and goes out there and balls out. So we'll see. But they'll find a way to implement him.
On a scale of 1 to 10, give me Jeff's concern rate that Jack Campbell won't translate in the NFL.
10 being terrified, 0 being he will. I would probably say... or I'll swap it. 10 being I'm confident, 0 being I'm not. I'd say about a 7. I think he will. Now, I can't answer the question, will he be an elite linebacker? I don't know.
We don't have to do the Hall of Fame stuff. But when you take him in the first round, I'm expecting
solid contributor.
A multiple Pro Bowl time linebacker, right? I'm expecting a guy to hopefully achieve an All-Pro status at one point. I'm expecting to have one of the 6 best linebackers in the NFL. It just comes with the expectation of being a first-round pick. Now, you guys love to get mad at me when I did this to Jeff Okudah, but this applies to everybody, not just Jeff Okudah. You were never worthy of the number 3 overall pick if you weren't going to be a top 3, top 5 corner in the NFL.
Absolutely.
When you talk about a linebacker taken in the first round, I like him. I think he fits perfectly. I think he's going to walk in day one, play alongside Alex Anzalone. I think that's your future captain on defense. I think that's your future leader, communicator. I have a lot of high hopes for Jack Campbell. But that's what I'm expecting. In terms of confidence, I'm a 7 or 8.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
I don't see the bust in him. Is that fair? Does that make sense?
Yeah,
I just don't see...
Like, his floor is still high.
His floor is a pretty decent linebacker in the NFL, and I would say his floor is better than Alex Anzalone and Rodrigo's ceiling. So that's just how I feel about him.
Yeah. I think Alex Anzalone in year 9, however many years he's been in the league, is probably what Jack could be in the first couple of years. So, and he's bigger. So there's that too. You can use him in a lot of different ways. And I think, and I want to read some of these comments because Michael said something, good friend of the show too. He says 4-3 defense suits Jack Campbell better than our 4-2-5. 4-3 versus 4-2-5. Can we think about that for a second? Yeah.
I think he's fast enough to compensate. He'll be fine. And this is your biggest complaint about both of your linebackers. They're not quick enough to drop back into coverage or get to the sidelines. I have no issue with Jack Campbell doing that.
And I think Jack is more quick than fast, if that makes sense. Like, the 4.65 40 everybody talks about, but he's 3-cone. Like, everything short,
Give me good football players who can show their speed on the field, not in a 40. There are some guys that are just football field fast, and some guys that are just track fast. There's a big difference. There's a huge difference.
I think Amon-Ra was more so like that. Didn't have the fastest 40, but when you watch him on film, he's
you can't guard him.
Yeah, you can't guard him. So
I
same
have
thing.
to factor into this because it's part of being a Dan Campbell player. Yes, he is a great football player. Yes, the stats add up. Yes, his tape looks great. But when he stepped into that room on Friday morning, he wanted to be there. You could just tell how badly he wanted to be there and how badly he wanted to express his want to play in Detroit and his want to play for Dan Campbell and his want to play for the city. It was like he felt so emotional the entire time in that room, and it came across so humble, and he was so excited to get to work.
That's my kind of guy.
I genuinely think, if you gave him the opportunity, he would have started practicing, that day.
I mean, the fact that he's only posted twice on social media in the last 2 years, both of which were happy birthday to his girlfriend or wife, I'm not sure.
Football guy.
That is a football guy. That is the guy I want. I don't want a guy that's consumed by media and distracted. Give me that guy. I love it. I absolutely love him. We'll take a break. When we get back, how about the sports books are tattletaling on all the NFL players that use the apps? They're leaking them from, not leaking, but they're sharing them from, snitching is probably a better word. They're snitching on all the players. We'll talk about that next. Jameson Williams as well, but before we do, Jeff, I got to tell everybody at home about our good friends over at Planet Fitness, home of the $10 a month gym. Guys, there's no better time to sign up than right now. Go to planetfitness.com or visit one of their many Metro Detroit locations. You can get started today. Your fitness is essential. It'll only cost you $10 a month. You'll thank me later. planetfitness.com.
At work and at home, we're there with smarter security solutions. Featuring complete automation with customized alerts and more. For over 90 years, we've been the company that's been counted on to protect what matters most, all with personalized service and care. Right now, for a limited time, receive a free video device plus free installation with a new home system. Guardian Alarm. We protect Michigan.
Get a shot up. This is for the win. All of Detroit's sports teams live on Woodward. All of Detroit's sports coverage lives on Woodward Sports. Driving the best in Detroit sports coverage.
Welcome back to the Morning Woodward Show. We are at woodwardsports.com. If you're watching on the website, please be sure to check out the articles, and we may have a Hawkeyes influenced shirt coming out on the website today, so you're going to want to check that out. It was
Please check it out. Buy it.
And just, it is brilliant.
Just buy it, wear it, take a picture, tweet at Neil and at Woodward Sports.
Please
That's all
do.
we want to
Troll
see.
him,
He
please.
will absolutely love it. And follow us on Twitter while you're at it, at Woodward Sports. If you're listening on podcast, download and leave a 5-star review. And if you're watching on YouTube, subscribe and like this video. Thanks so much.
I love it.
And before we get into anything, can I show you what James Harden was wearing just quickly?
Yeah.
Alex, could you pull this picture up?
Wow.
Now,
what is that?
That's a great question.
Can you show me what Brittany Griner was wearing last night as well?
Why?
Find that for me, Alex.
This was walking into the game to go get 40 on the Celtics.
45.
45. Excuse me. So
say it right. Say it with your chest.
This outfit, I don't understand. But
JB, what do you think of this outfit?
He kind of looks like JB, doesn't it look like he's dressed in like a Cookie Monster mascot outfit without the...
Isn't that racist?
What?
Say, compare him to the Cookie Monster?
He's wearing blue
No, like he
furry...
skinned Cookie Monster just to have these pair of pants, which is ridiculous.
Just because you're getting canceled, you don't got to bring me down
I didn't
with
say
you,
anything.
Right?
I was just making an observation.
That outfit was not it. To sum it up,
I think he looks great. Look at him. I'm proud of him.
But if he gets 45 in that, wear it every game. So that's all. You got Brittany Griner's outfit too?
I would love to see this.
Because that's the most random thing. If you could find that, I'd give you credit.
I have to see what Brittany Griner looked like.
It was just a gold suit.
A gold suit? Oh,
But it wasn't
so
like
she dressed up as a
gold.
dude.
Gold. It was like...
Cream?
Yeah.
It's
it wasn't like
insulated.
metallic. It was just like the fabric color was gold.
I mean, at this point, she can probably just walk into the NBA day one and drop 45 like James Harden did, if you ask her opinion.
I love this comment. Nameless stranger, WoodwardSports.com. He says, imagine this is the guy who drops 45 on your team.
Yeah, it must be demoralizing.
He walks in like that.
This guy shows up to the gym and punks every single one of you. Imagine. I love the fashion thing that they do with the NBA.
Yeah.
I love how they just walk up every single time. They have dedicated cameramen, and they're like, all right, what are they going to wear today? What are they going to wear today?
Alex, could you find Doja Cat's outfit?
Who?
Because everyone said, Adam, you need to see Doja.
Oh, yeah. That's exactly what I expected Brittany Griner to look like.
Oh, gosh.
I mean, if she's all for like the sex change, why doesn't she get one?
Who do you think is your favorite, like, fashion-wise in the NBA?
That's tough because a lot of NBA players, man, the most fashionable guys, I'm like, dude.
I
Like
mean,
some of these outfits
But
don't make...
in your opinion,
I would say...
not like has to be like high fashion making a statement every single game.
I'm going to be honest.
I think Russell Westbrook
I was going to
does the
say,
best job.
I think Russell, he finds a way to just pull it off. Like, if we're being honest. I don't think the outfit makes the person. I think the person makes the outfit. All right? So Russell, whatever he's wearing, it could be ridiculous. Still looks good. So, hey, he's still stunned.
Do you have Doja Cat? Oh, what the fuck is that thing?
What is that?
That's a girl?
What is that?
She's a cat.
What does she do? What is she, a fashion model?
She's a singer.
What is...
She's a singer.
Or
Yes, she's a singer.
She looks like... You know what she looks like? She looks like she's from Cat in the Hat, the Dr. Seuss
She looks
movie.
like she hasn't eaten anything in fucking 7 days. She's starving herself, and somebody like carved in her fucking face.
That is.
Well, that's like that's not her actual nose.
Does
You
that
know
not
right?
look?
What do you
That's
mean?
not her actual nose. That was done with like stage makeup to make her look like a cat.
No,
That's not her actual nose.
Well, she's from Cat in the Hat. It looks like all those the neighborhood of all the people who look similar. That's what she's giving me right now. That's some Dr. Seuss stuff right here. I don't know what I don't understand this. I don't. But hey, go off.
You know, good for her.
What?
Good for. What is that?
You want to
Guys,
take a guess?
let me
What
guess.
the hell is that?
Let me guess. This is a dude,
What is that?
right? Is that a dude? It is. Who is it? I need to know.
What? Oh.
Who is it, JB?
It is Lil Nas X.
Oh, is that the fake gay guy?
What?
Right?
Yeah, it's Lil Nas
That's the
X.
fake gay guy, right? Yeah, I know that one.
Fake gay, but okay.
I mean, he said he was gay, and clearly he's not. So I mean, that's kind of fake gay.
Well, here, look at the picture and you answer the question for yourself. What do
I mean,
you,
that
what do you
doesn't.
think?
That, dressing up like that has nothing to do with your sexual orientation.
Do you dress up like that at night sometimes?
I mean, sometimes. Shit.
What the? Alex, that. Oh, gosh. That one
God.
came out of left field.
I could have sworn there was a story that he's fake gay. Am I wrong on this, JB?
My current favorite in the NBA is Josh Giddey. I like Josh Giddey's pregame outfit.
The Australian. He's
Of
got
course.
swag too. Devin Booker, he's wearing always Detroit gear.
You know,
he's got
do me a
Tiger
favor.
stuff, Red Wing stuff.
If I ever make like stupid amount of money in my life, like where I get to a point where like fuck you money, all right. If I ever dress up like that, you have full ability to just walk into my house, grab any gun you want, and just fucking shoot me.
What? No.
That is so
Don't say-
unacceptable.
no,
How
don't.
fucking people dress up like that. Jesus Christ.
You just found out what the Met Gala was like 30 minutes
How
ago.
fucking stupid is that? One lady's dressing up as a cat. The next dude, I don't even know what the fuck that thing is. Looks like the tin guy from fucking Wizard of Oz. I mean,
Oh my gosh.
well, I mean, it's the same color.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know.
Benji,
I don't know what we're doing as a country anymore.
Benji says he woke up and said, "I want to be a snowflake today."
Well, I mean, that's a snowflake. That's quite the snowflake. I don't know why he's covering his chest as if he has boobs. I mean,
Okay.
Can you
all
pull
right,
that
we're
picture
not-
back up?
let's-
It
all
really
right, we're
upsets
getting out
me
of
now.
hand here.
I think I want to. What the fuck is he covering up? What? His small nipples that nobody even looks at? You're a guy. You don't have to do that. It's not a fashion statement. Please make this make sense for me, Gabby.
I mean, he's kind of stunting.
I know.
He's kind of stunting out there. I mean, hey.
You know, half of these people that show up to this fucking event probably like sacrifice kids in the middle of nowhere.
We'll never know what they do in their free time.
No, I know what they do. I know what they do. They just kill all the people that know what they did.
Actually, we'll never know what they do at the Met Gala because no cameras are allowed inside.
Oh, yeah. Oh, they're probably fingering each other the whole time.
No,
I bet you any money.
All right,
that is orgy
no.
after 100%.
We got to get to mailbag.
Orgy City at the Met Gala.
Mailbag is right on the horizon.
Jesus. John Lord says if Adam gets canceled, it's Jeff's fault this time. Why?
Because you're an asshole.
Why is it my fault? What I did?
Let's throw a poll in the chat. How many points do you think Brittany Griner drops in her NBA debut? Anything
Right,
under?
and in the next segment,
anything under
we
3.
will be doing mailbag. So please leave your questions in the chat, and we will get to them as soon as we get back. And before we go, where are you gonna have some lunch today, guys?
I'm gonna grab some lobster tacos, clam chowder soup as always, and a side of tots from my good friends over at Cousins Maine Lobster. Scan the QR code, find out where the food trucks are located. You'll thank me later. CousinsMaineLobster.com. Try it. It's delicious. Thank me after. We'll see you guys next for Mailbag.
Love Woodward Sports? Love wearing clothes? Then you should be wearing Woodward Sports clothes. Check out our full line of merch at woodwardsports.com. Just click on shop. We have all your favorite designs, like Dan Campbell kneecaps, Woodward golf, and of course, our own logoed out merchandise. Men, women, infants, kids, all love Woodward Sports. Impress your friends. Impress your boss. Impress your dog. Buy Woodward Sports merch today.
Be Big Boy Strawberry Fest has officially arrived, and we're here to show you the very best flavors of the season. Satisfy your sweet tooth with our deep-fried vanilla Oreos, strawberry hot fudge cake, and a slice of our classic strawberry pie. But that's not all. Cool off on a refreshing summer splash salad, or savor the flavors of our chicken Caesar wrap and strawberry bacon chicken wrap. And for breakfast lovers, don't miss out on our strawberry hotcakes or our mouth-watering red velvet waffle. Strawberry Fest is something for everyone. Celebrate the sweet season with us at Big Boy.
My name is Lee. I've lost 35 pounds on the Custom Health Center program. So the 3 biggest benefits that I've gotten from this program has been I'm not snoring anymore, I have a lot of energy, it's great, and oh, by the way, look at this. No, I'm just kidding. No, I'm just kidding.
Call us at 844-789-THIN or visit CustomHealthCenters.com for a free consultation and get started for as little as $5 a day.
The only sports network in Detroit that starts with a W. You know, because we win. Woodward Sports, Detroit's winning sports network.
Welcome back. You are watching the Morning Woodward Show at woodwardsports.com. If you are watching on the website, please be sure to check out all that we have going on in our articles and our shop. Plenty to check out there. If you're watching on YouTube, like and subscribe. If you're listening after the fact, wherever you listen to your podcasts, download and leave a 5-star review, please. Thank you. Now we're going into mailbag.
All right, we got to answer the tough questions here. I think that's our job. It's not to shy away from tough questions, okay? Mailbag from Jack. Who is the bigger LeBron simp, Jeff or Flannel? Well, I'm going to have to go with Flannel, unfortunately. And he's not here to defend himself, but Jeff, I'll at least give you the benefit of the doubt here.
Okay,
I'm going to say Flannel over
Thank
you.
Thank you, good sir, for giving me that.
Oh, God. All right, mailbag. Oh, I lost my chat. What the fuck? So, can you read a question, please? Because my chat just broke.
This one, Jesus. Mailbag. Tim asks, if Adam played dress up.
I'm listening. I'm down.
I'm listening. Who would he be?
If I were to dress up, what do you mean, like play dress up though?
Like if you went to the Met Gala.
Oh, if I went to the Met Gala.
Okay. I gotta give a little background. So every year the Met Gala has a different theme.
Oh. So what was this year's theme?
This year's theme was celebrating Karl Lagerfeld, who's a designer.
That's how they celebrate him? What a fucking insult.
It's all like you take your own spin on his work, on his life, yada yada. One of the most famous ones recently was Camp.
What's Camp?
Camp is just like over the top, campy, whimsical, over the top, cheesy.
I would just show up naked
now, I was gonna
and
say,
make a fashion statement.
You know what
and I would have like a line going down the center of my body.
You know what I suggest?
Everyone would have to accept it.
I'm pretty sure
I suggest assless chaps.
What?
You just go out there, ass out, F it.
I think last year's theme might have been like Americana or American or something, and I do remember seeing some
I would have offended everybody had I gone to the Met Gala last year then. I would have worn a Donald Trump shirt with a American flag wrapped around my dick.
I might be right. Let me see. I'm not sure if it was this theme last year, but I could be wrong.
What? Okay. Well.
I'm glad Gabby missed that one.
I can't scroll faster through this chat to find a question
don't
that
do that.
has nothing to do with what we're talking about.
Oh my God.
Oh my God. Every
I agree,
question
Broder.
read-
That would be a massive American flag. I agree.
That would be a mess.
Oh my God.
You just need one of those gift
Adam,
shop
do you
flags.
think the new turf is going to make a difference?
I don't know. I hate turf. As someone that's played on both, I fucking hate it. The only turf I do like, though... Wait. Let me backtrack. Turf is fine if you play with indoor shoes. But once you get to cleats, that is super dangerous. So I've never been a fan of it. I can't stand turf when you're wearing cleats. But if you're wearing the indoor shoes that are made for the turf, it's no problem at all. So I don't know how much of a difference it'll make, to be honest with you. Let's see what else we have here. Does Brad's clock start for drafting a running back in the first round? No. I mean, it would have to be such a disaster that you would even just question him at that point. But no, this is such a very good football team. They're going to end up winning the division this year. I really believe that. So how can his clock start? They're winning the division this year. All right, what else do we got here?
Mailbag, will Gibbs be more impactful than Beydoun? I mean, that's tough to say. I think they'll both have an impact, maybe in different ways. I think, maybe more so getting touches in the run game, probably Beydoun, but overall impact with what he can do in the receiving game, I'd probably lean Gibbs. But you never know. Beydoun's he's a hell of a player, too.
All right. Adam, would you do the Booner Sports Show? Would you and Booner go to the Met Gala together? If I were to take somebody to the Met with me, it would be Gabby. Because, that would be me saving face. Because, she'd walk in with a beautiful dress, she'd look stunning, and then there'd be my naked ass with an American flag wrapped around me. And then everyone would be like, that's a fashion statement. Way to go, Adam. Good for you. We support you. Oh, my God. You know what? I got an even better idea. Not only do I show up shirtless, I will gain 200 pounds, and then everybody will tell me, we're so fucking proud of you, Adam. You gained that weight. Good for you.
You look
Good
beautiful.
for you. Diabetes, heart disease,
Hey,
no
Jeff,
problem. Good
Jeff,
for you.
Are you ready for the UFC, and who do you got?
I am. JB, you ready too, right? We got to roll out this weekend. We got a fight to watch.
Oh yeah, I forgot. Yeah, there is a fight this weekend.
Henry Cejudo, Aljamain Sterling. Give me Eljo.
I thought he retired.
He's back. He's still small. He's super small, but he's a legend, 2-time champ, 2 different divisions. Give me Eljo though. Sorry,
God.
Not a big Cejudo fan.
How many wins do the Pistons need next year to keep the pitchforks from coming out, Jeff?
How many wins?
Yeah.
Man, you got to get 40. I'm sorry. Yeah, 40. I'm up. Yeah.
40 wins?
Yep.
Oh my God.
There. Yeah.
Oh my God.
Give me 40.
He caught me off guard.
Yeah.
I would love to see that.
Give me 35-40. I'm not taking 30
I would
wins.
love to see
That's
that.
not happening. Yeah, give me 35-40.
I would love to see that. Adam, my wife left me, Beydoun. I wouldn't blame her. I wouldn't blame my wife one bit. Honestly, whenever we joke about getting a divorce, I always tell her, I don't blame you. Good for you. I'll sign the papers so quick. Goodbye. Go enjoy your life. Go enjoy your life. You don't need to be married to a psycho like me.
Mailbag, does Goff leave next year and go wherever Ben Johnson goes?
Nah.
Benji says mailbag Jeff Burns or Muhammad. That's a tough one. Gilbert Burns. That's a tough one, Benji. I like them both. I'm gonna go with Burns here. I'm gonna lean Burns.
You know what Victor Wembanyama
That's a
should
tough
do?
one though. Real tough one.
Do you think Victor Wembanyama is going to be a really good player in the NBA?
Do I think
asking.
Victor Wembanyama
Yeah.
will be a good player in the NBA? Yes.
Yeah, it's a question. Why are you chilling?
No, I
dude?
just wanted to make sure I got it right. Sorry, I
Yeah.
was reading. Yes,
I
do.
think he should transition and go to the
Okay.
WNBA. He would light that league on fire, and we would all be promoting equality. Wouldn't that be great?
How good do the Lions have to play for Goff to get an extension next offseason?
I think they have to win the division. Minimum. I think you have to win 10, 11 games, win the division, host a playoff game, and then we can consider a 3-year extension. I think that's fair. Unless they fall in love during that process with a future quarterback or Hendon Hooker. But to me, it's Jeff. It's Jared Goff's job to lose. I don't see him going anywhere. What else do we have here?
I think we already got asked this question, but who would you rather have win the lottery, the Pistons or the Red Wings?
Oh, the Red Wings. Sorry, Jeff. Fuck you and the Pistons. Connor Bedard on the Red Wings. That is 20 years of fuck you, we're back in Hockey Town. And I miss that. I miss that. You getting the #1 overall pick in the NBA draft doesn't mean shit to me. Give me Connor Bedard. Oh, my goodness.
Yeah,
Please,
I'm going to
God.
be honest. Even me, I'd have to agree with you. I would. Because I think in the NBA, especially, I know Victor, generational, but there's still some good players at the top of that draft I wouldn't mind getting. So I'd probably lean Red Wings too.
All right, let's see. Final question. I missed it. Damn it. I scrolled too fast. Do the Pistons take Scoot? And if they do, where does Cade move? To the #2 position?
I don't like the idea of Cade moving to the 3 because the whole point of him being a 6'6", 6'6" point guard is that height advantage. So if you draft Scoot, you move Cade to the 3. I don't like it. I'd rather just keep the ball in both those guys' hands, go get a Brandon Miller, Victor, etc.
Okay.
But no doubt, Scoot, if they take him, I'm not going to be upset. He's
All right.
a great player.
Mailbag, did Gabby fall asleep in a tanning bed?
No, it's warm in here, and my cheeks get really red when I'm warm. I'm so pale right now, promise. So pale. Really, really, really need to go and get a tan.
God help us all.
kind of a day in the life, man. You got to get tan.
All right, what other questions do we have in here? We have one more minute.
Mailbag, I want to answer this one. He's been asking it. Mailbag, Man Bear Pig, mailbag. So Adam, Jeff, JB, Gabby, which, if any, of the 13 UDFAs do you think will make the team and or the practice squad? I have two that I'm most confident in, Brandon Joseph and Mohamed Ibrahim. I mean, those two are clearly the best two players that they got out of all the UDFAs, and I would think that both of them could make the team. So I would lean those guys.
I'd go with Ibrahim.
Yeah, I definitely know, because he got 100,000 guaranteed. So I don't know if that signifies that he got other offers to join teams. So he's a pretty good player.
I'd probably go with Ibrahim and Martinez.
You think Martinez will?
Yeah, I think they'll just keep him as a backup. Probably just drop Nate Sudfeld.
Wow, that's JB. We'll keep that one. Martinez makes the team over Sudfeld. Okay.
You know, one more costume. I think JB will appreciate this. If I were to go to the Met Gala, I would dress up as Rikishi. Not bad?
Yeah, that's not bad.
Not bad?
Yeah.
I think that's, or the Boogeyman. Just show up to the Met Gala with a bunch of worms in my mouth. That'd be freaking awesome. And a broken clock. I forget what he looked like.
Our Garbanzo says, mailbag, you guys still talk to Fish lately? How's the job treat him? Yeah, we talk to Fish all the time.
Doesn't answer my calls anymore.
He's doing good. Fish is still hanging in there.
He's
I just texted him like a week
He's
ago.
too big time for us.
He loves his job, though.
Fish might be making a guest return on Friday, by the way.
I thought you just said he hasn't been returning your calls. Now he's making a guest appearance.
Oh, yeah, I know. I was lying about that.
Okay, all right.
We're out of here.
He's lying. What's new? What's new?
We're out of here. Goodbye,
Can't believe
everybody.
anything
Have a
that comes out of
great
his
rest
mouth.
Have a great rest of your day. For Adam, Jeff, and Gabby, JB, and Alex.
Gabrielle
Till tomorrow.
D. Phillips.
Gabrielle D. Phillips.
Signing out.
We're all out of here. Goodbye tomorrow. See you later.